Souls, and welcome back to my channel.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome into your space. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to dive into what may be blocking you for the month of September, or just in general. My intentions for this video is that by the end, you'll not only be aware of these potential blocks, but also feel empowered and cleared, ready to move forward. Before we get started, let's just begin centering ourselves. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release any tension. Another deep breath in and out. One more. Filling your entire being with light. And as you exhale, release all thoughts and concerns, allowing yourself to be fully present. I now ask for the highlighting and understanding of any and all blocks from our energy centers that may be present this month. We'll begin with the root chakra. At the base of the spine, let's bring our awareness to any fears, anxieties, or feelings of instability that may be present. What might be preventing you from feeling grounded and secure this September? Moving up to the sacral chakra, just below the navel, let's explore any emotional stagnation or creative blocks. What might be keeping you from experiencing pleasure or embracing your creative flow this month? At the solar plexus chakra, above the navel, we now bring attention to any doubts, insecurities, or anything that diminishes your sense of personal power. What might be preventing you from taking empowered actions in September? Moving up to the heart chakra and the center of the chest, we release any past hurts, grief, or unforgivingness that may be surfacing, that might be closing your heart to unconditional love both for yourself and others this month. Now, at the throat chakra, let's acknowledge anything that prevents you from speaking your truth with clarity and authenticity. What fears around self-expression may be holding you back in September? Focusing on the third eye chakra, between the eyebrow, we now bring awareness to any blocks to your intuition and inner wisdom. What doubts may be preventing you from trusting your inner knowing? Finally, at the crown chakra, at the top of the head, we examine any limiting beliefs that might be separating you from your spiritual connection. What might be obscuring your divine wisdom and guidance? With these blocks highlighted, we can now begin our pick a card reading to gain further insight and work toward clearing these issues. If you'd like to jump ahead, the timestamps are below. If you'd like to go over the crystal and card interpretations to make your selections, stay right here with me. Hello, friends. First, you have Group 1 with the infamous, beautiful, world-renowned amethyst, a violet to purple variety of quartz, calming, protective, and spiritually uplifting. It is linked to the crown and third eye chakra and supports meditation, intuition, stress relief, and protection from negative energy. Okay? That is my friend. Next, you guys have the zoisite with ruby, sometimes called annulite. It's a striking combination of green zoisite and includes ruby. You know, ruby's good for a lot of things. Balance and passion, with calming, encouraging joy, vitality, and courage. It also supports our heart chakra. So for some of you, there could be dual messages. And don't be shy if you're pulled to more than one selection. Next, you guys have the blue apatite, a blue crystal that can range from light to teal, deep indigo, and it enhances communication, self-expression, and clarity. Look at that. It encourages motivation and stimulates psychic awareness. So they're all connected. Next, you have for Group 4, Jasper Agate, one of my favorites because it is just so unique. It is a grounding stone with earthy tones combining the stabilizing qualities of jasper and agate's layered energy provides stability, balance, being in the present moment, harmonizing the yin and the yang energies. And it also has a connection to the root chakra. So, so does your money. Anywho, for group 5, you have this beautiful lemon citron, a yellow to golden variety of quartz known as the stone of abundance. Indeed, it promotes prosperity, confidence, and joy. I love that. And it is linked to the solar plexus and encourages willpower and manifestation with dispelling negative energy. Love that. Next, you guys have the golden healer. Now, I know I say all the crystals are my favorites, but the golden healer, hands down, is a clear golden quartz with iron oxide inclusions that gives it a golden hue. High vibrational healing stone, and it amplifies energy, cleansing all the chakras really, and promotes divine connection. Used for deep healing, raising consciousness, and harmonizing spiritual, mental, and physical aspects. So this is where all those chords and connections are. And I love how, look at that. I love how the rays kind of, contribute to my comment. How about that? The next group 7, you guys have the Mukate Jasper. I hope I pronounced that correctly if I have any Aussies in the audience. It's an Australian jasper with earthy red, yellow, cream, and brown tones, encouraging vitality, adaptability, and living in the present moment. It helps with decision making and embracing change. Balances root and solar plexus energy for grounding and confidence. Okay, yes. And it feels like I'm holding it in. I'm just like, let me get a good rub. Is that appropriate? All right, guys. Now, without further ado, we will get started with the first group. Or, if you need a moment, I'll give you that to make your selection. Or if you're ready and you want to jump ahead, meet me in group 1, and the rest of you, I'll see you there. Sick how I'm stuck on you. Oh, have we started? Okay. That might have something to do with y'all, might not. I just been singing that Ashanti song. Group 1, we are here with your crown chakra. And for some of you, I will say this, maybe that's why this big, huge firecracker's here. Because the sacral chakra came up intuitively, as did when, you tried the best that you can to not get out of your body. Okay. And if you don't know that Ebonic or jargon, basically it's like you try to remain professional. You try to remain whatever's needed for that certain situation. And it goes somewhere. If you don't let it out, it goes somewhere. Others of you, I just get the channel messages out real quick. So excuse how that worked. Slaying the dragon came up. And usually when there's a slaying of the dragon, that means that there's some 3D, like human, earthly stuff. Because I don't like to just blame the devil and put negative energy on Capricorn, because Capricorn is a dope energy. But it's pretty much like, slaying a non-favorable aspect of ourselves. Because I was going to say a situation, but there's something about ourselves that have us in this situation. We didn't like to hear that, but it's what it is. So slaying the dragon, possibly looking into the sacral chakra reading as well, or you can get all that you need from this reading because we ain't even started yet. Amethyst, very powerful. So you are somebody, child. This is royalty. And then the color of these cards are as well. I love that. So when I think of royalty, you can consider the court cards. And I did see, because I don't be trying to spill the beans, but I spill them because all of you guys are like super smart and I can't hold water. The King of Cups has, and don't get offended, just hear me out. When I say passive aggressive, sometimes that's an insult. But if I can accept passive aggression is just a thing, it's not good or bad, you can too, right? So some people call it passive aggressive. I call it avoiding conflict, being the bigger person, taking a high road. It's many things, but it's still kind of like Mars Pisces energy, or just an element of not reacting how the situation is coming at you. And I think that's mature. However, it still does something to the body, to the psyche, to the emotions. And what do we do with it? These cards, since you picked group 1, I would say meditate, honestly.
so that our guides, your higher self, your brain neurological system can reshuffle and transmute the miraculous. That's what I call it. My baby likes to watch. Well, he's not a baby no more, but he used to watch the Ladybug show. And if you've ever heard of, seen it, she's basically a normal person. But she turns into like the superhero girl that goes out and removes the negativity that controls people and make them do crazy things because of their emotions. And I thought that was so dope. And even to this day, if my son is not having the best day, or he acting up, I say, have you been traumatized? And that's something that, we share to get him, to pull him back in without being overly aggressive with him. It's like a gentle reminder because he's seen how it happens. He sees that when people are in that energy, they're not themselves. And so there's no talking to them. There's, you know what I mean? Because like they're not, if we were our reasonable selves in those moments, if we could be, some people can, because I'm at a stage of my life where I can, honestly. But for so long I was not. So I can honestly say it's kind of, it's kind of hard to try to be reasonable when you out of your body. So you could not be out of your body or whatever. Some of you, however that situation pans out, we're going to go ahead and get shuffled. I have tarot cards and oracle cards, but we're going to start with the deck that you selected to understand what's coming toward us for the month of September. And I opened it up to be more timeless because not many readers do chakra readings. So I wanted it to be timeless for our collective that we can help in the future, just to be more of an impact to the world. Okay. These want to talk. Let's talk to them. Ooh, I got some rainbow babies up in here. That's dope. The rainbow also talks about promises. And then we got jugglers. Okay. Let's start with Virgo energy in September. Okay, Epiphany. Cool. We are going to have a lot of downloads, a lot of messages, a lot of bright ideas. The light bulb's going to get to going off. You're going to be thinking about things. You're going to have so much probably energy because I'm feeling it, even though the cards didn't say it. I was like, where am I getting that from? Just channeling it. It's pretty dope. It's real good. How we handle it so that it's favorable for us. Juggling kind of talks about staying busy to avoid boredom. That's cool. Use those epiphanies to create or make adjustments and just really celebrate this new energy, because this is the first time in a while that the beginning of fall feels like spring, or it's like New Year's Eve in September type deal. It's that kind of refreshment or refresher thing. There, I may have, just like the picture shows, we can be simple without being philosophical. Some of you guys, it's time management, it's home life, it's finances. The book is above, so it's giving like the Page of Swords energy. And it just may be a lot. You literally writing, juggling. She got the little barbell, so working out all the creative things or normal things, your normal routine plus new stuff or whatever the case may be. There could be some juggling because it's just you. But initially when I saw juggler and rainbows, I saw promises and then the type of person that got too much going on. So it's like, how you going to fulfill the promise when you got too much going on? Spirit said that's not a collective message, but it could come across that way for some of you. So just be mindful of time management, promises, and, just really trying to get it all done. Our expectations from others as well. I'm going to take one more. I was going to say this could be the one more, but we'll shuffle it out and see. Okay. I knew it. Okay. So a lot of writing for you guys. We had the book. You guys are going to be really creative. Oh, look at that. So see, I didn't want to put her out there like that. I was going to say single moms, single dads and stuff like that. School did just start back. But for some of you, it's like nurturing. It could literally be a baby. That is so cool. Like, cause they're like the rainbow children. That is so cool. The hands just represent a worker. So like physically doing things like drawing. You may have a kid and you're trying to do things and you wonder how to keep them busy. This could be a good thing for you. If there are any blocks, since we are talking about, where we could shift what's holding us back, it's something within the lines of like time management, juggling and just having a lot going on. Because look at her hands. She doesn't have her hands technically on anything. It's just the energy she uses to balance it. Check that out. Now, this card shows the actual hands, and they're physical and they're touching the item. So it even gives me like the magician energy. Maybe some promises, some prayers that you had in the past are coming to fruition because of your work ethic. So that could be really important for some of you guys. And so that we don't miss a beat for my crown chakras. But that's so cool. The rainbow babies. You've received this card as you have questions about your family for some of you guys. And see, I would have never put those two and two together. It also represents a number of different messages from the universe. So some of you, when we saw that baby card, that's messages from the universe. And it represents like almost the Empress energy. Some of you, if there are any questions about pregnancy, because this crown chakra is saying the things that could have us blocked, maybe the things on our minds that are resurfacing. There are some transits coming up in September that will be bringing up some unresolved issues. So I think group 1, unresolved issues, possibly around, maternity, family, things of that nature could represent, what we, the baby card also represents your current children and is a sign from the universe that they're aware of your generous little souls and indicates that they are protected as well and safe. So if you have to do a lot and it's like you're not always with them and you worry or wonder, the universe is saying that they're safe. And I think that that's super cool. Now with the epiphanies, because it came and went, it said inspiration is only a thought away. So keep that in mind. You receive this card when it warns you to know that you're being guided and inspired from above. So not only would you have concerns about things that you're taking care of, you may have some concerns about yourself. The reason you could experience these spiritual experiences is because the universe is within you and surrounding you, protecting you, and mostly importantly, guiding you. It's kind of like a psychic card. It reminds you to be open to receiving divine intervention. So keep in mind that there may be some divine intervention, and I felt that with the promises of the rainbow. I did say that for my healers. Oh my God, what's the promise for the healers? Like the first will come last and the last will come first type deal. Now for the hands, that card comes when you're ready to understand your gifts that you've been given. It's also a psychic symbol and hidden abilities that you possess. The hands card can also represent that you are a gifted healer and it's time for you to use your natural born gifts to heal. That happens. So for some of you, you could have been attracted to this reading because you have interest in energy healing and as a practitioner. Okay, so this is like a green light for you. It's a sign that you should explore the gift of psychometry. Psychometry is the ability to hold an item and see the past, present, and future from the energy contained within. Oh my God, look at that. So there goes the items. I said that, but I didn't touch on it. See, that's why I like a guidebook. At first I was like, channelers, don't always, we don't, but I'm bigger than that. I love journalism. And so the people that create decks and take time to write these books, sometimes they have some pretty dope things that even a channeler, like it's words that could inspire you. Even if the channeler hits it on the nail, they don't use the same words or descriptions. So I like to dig up in there to be thorough. So for some of you guys, that is an amazing gift, especially if you are the rainbow kid or whatever. That is super dope. It's movies like that, like Wednesday. Oh, there's something about Wednesdays possibly. So be mindful of that if you're getting synchronicities about days of the week to do things. Just like, I had a client that it came through one of her readings that maybe it's best for her to do like her hobbies, creative projects, or entrepreneur work at night because she also had children. And that sounds like common sense, but it ain't always common sense. Because if I'm a mom, a dad, I have a full-time job, I have children, I have extracurricular activities. When do I sleep? So that is not common sense to just say, I'm just going to stay up at night. I'm going to sacrifice myself because you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not worth that. But I think that is super cool. Now for the juggler, because since we're on a roll here, you are a gifted soul who needs to focus on your priorities. So are you torn some between like spirituality and, 3D responsibilities? Are you trying to juggle too many things at the present time? And are you ignoring things that you do when you get done? The psychic reading card of the juggler is a sign that now is the time to focus and make things happen. When you look at the card, pay attention to what images are jumping to you. So I'm gonna hold it up again because the first thing I saw is the house. I noticed the clock, I saw the money, and then I saw this thing. So I might be needing to work out. But yeah, no, I saw the book too. So I don't know, I can't say. But don't force it. But just like when you saw it, try to tap back into it or even look at it now. And what popped out to you first or the most? Okay, cool. I think that's amazing. That's deep. Yeah. Oh, look, it says, does the house jump out to you? If so, it could mean you need to focus on your finances so you can purchase that property you've been dreaming of. If you already have a home, it means that you may need to focus on doing things in your home, such as renovations or a spring cleaning to get your house back in order. And didn't I say that? It's like spring in the fall. So for some of you, that could help release from stress, anxiety, or some like icky feelings that you have. Even if out of boredom sometimes, or we just feel a certain way and we don't have nothing to do with the energy. Some of us do have things to do, but because of the lack of energy, we don't want to do them. It may help to give you a clean slate to just do a spring clean. It's hard to like do entrepreneurship or crafty work when you got real time life in your face. You got kids, clothes, or whatever y'all life is like. Some of you guys may be really neat, OCD, and you don't have this problem, and I respect that. So I'm talking to, the rest of us type deal. So I think that that's super cool. Let's see. I'm going to do this one more just because it's going so well. I like the number 28 because I did mention the King of Cups, that passive aggressive energy, and or just when is it time to not avoid conflict, right? So the rainbow card connects to the number 28. Enlightenment and beauty surround you. And see, that's what happens when you spring clean, but you receive this particular card and it reminds you that there's a bridge between the spiritual realm and heaven and earth. A rainbow represents enlightenment, gateways, and new beginnings. So some of you guys, you have new beginnings. The new beginnings could be one of these items. And one of those items may also come from something that you wish to create, or it may give you a better creative space. And so I think that that's super dope. So shout out to the, what are these? Shout out to these. Love that. We're going to pull some additional cards for you guys. And actually in my shuffle, because I just like to meditate and like get into your energy before we get started, I forgot I set these to the side. This went so well. I said, Spirit, what do you have for group 1? This is the bottom of the deck, so I guess we'll talk about that one last. But you have bladder, mouth, and back. And so I sat with them because before I see what they're supposed to mean, I sat with them and I thought about some things that we consume. And you know how like if you drink too much or you hold it in too long, and then with the mouth, we have gateway here. It also talks about nourishing, consuming, so things of that nature or some sort of communication. And then responsibility, support, security issues, tension, feeling weighed down, and secrets. So for some of us, when we talked about family issues, female issues, patterns, items, homes, work, space, things of that nature, it's consistent. Because I ain't even tell y'all about these yet. So that's crazy because the literal words support, security issues, weighed down, or responsibilities may be highlighted as areas. We also have gateway, nourishing, integrity, consuming, communication, and appetite, as well as holding in emotions. And see, you do it sometimes out of what you feel could be mature growth. And it is, until we may use that to do it too much. Maybe that's why I saw the little exercise thing, because I know sometimes just dancing around the house and putting on a cool song that you like exudes some of that energy inside. So yeah, we want to be mature. We want to take the high road, but holding in emotions, right? It could be an issue. Ability to let go is important. Coping with fears, being in control, and willpower. Okay. Bottom of the deck, you had focus, clarity, prophecy. You also had good luck, and that's what I feel like that rainbow and the juggler card is here for. But intuitive insights also. So it talks about touching items to get energy from them. That's straight off TV. You guys are cool. So I'm gonna put these here, and we are gonna keep going because I have more for you. Of course, I do. You're going to get yours back. Look, he walking right to the rainbow. All right. Let's see if Spirit has any other news that we can use. And it is sitting too long. Be mindful of that. And resting on your laurels. That's the same thing as high road, low road, and all that kind of jazz. So we won't beat a dead horse with that. Spirit, what else do you have for group 1? In areas of improvement, blockages, challenges, strengths, gifts, and abilities. Okay, this is pretty. I love magenta. Very beautiful color. You also have, I'm a girly that loves a good Kelly green. Okay, so these two both to me are connected to, before we even get started, let's see. Let me touch them. I feel that some of you here, or the topics that we're about to touch on, may be connected to the heart chakra. And if not that, this is Uriel. This is relationships. This is Archangel Raphael. That helps with family issues, parental issues, child, rearing, the chaos of it, and also just pure abundance, right? So I just want to point that out. Let's start with the green. Chrysocoli, Earth. And that's crazy because I was like, this little card looks like Earth. I was just thinking that, but look here. Earth. Unconditional love and cleansing. That is super cool. It says, known for cleaning the aura of toxins. All right. It's a great crystal to use when experiencing high stress levels and burnout. The surface of this crystal resembles pristine oceanic views. So there we go, more with that water energy, because we talked about the King of Cups. And if it's not, this particular reading isn't about zodiac signs and stuff like that. We're talking about the archetype, or, the energy within the tarot card. So I just want to point that out, because you hear King of Cups and think, what, water sign, Scorpio? And no, it's just the energy of, it's the perspective or whatever. It talks about views of aerial vantage points, helping you gain perspective. So that's kind of like the eagle, when you can see the whole thing, and see cleaning up, spring cleaning, that allows you to sit back and see everything better. Anyway, deeply connected to the energy of the earth. So grounding is very important. So those of you that have these strong gifts and abilities, it's very important for you to stay grounded, because energy, I was going to say magic, but I don't want to run nobody off. Energy can sometimes affect you differently. You want energy to be a better whatever you are, right? Your spiritual gifts, you want them highlighted. You want to connect to your higher self. You want to be connected to source. You want that, that. I don't want to even call it a shadow side. It's just the other side of the coin, that sometimes it could create hyperactivity, and Virgo has that nature to be hyperactive, just like Scorpio. They connect like that, to be nervous, to have trust issues, and this is naturally. This isn't, you have a behavioral disorder, or, substance abuse, or something that some people could presume. Even though you could have those issues, I'm just saying this is a natural energy of Virgo and Scorpio regardless. So keep that in mind. You have Gemini, Virgo, Taurus energy, and you have Venus. Just wanted to point that out, because I am one of those people that know from education what the terminologies are and how to identify, even though I don't prescribe. I'm not like a medical practitioner or a psychiatrist. I read enough books to know, what it looked like. And I will be like, ooh, that look like that. But at the same time, as a scientist and just a spiritual being, I've understood humans, because I have connections to spirit, who helps me understand humans from an outer body, like third party type deal. You know what I'm saying? So now I say humans like I'm not one of them. I'm so one of them. Okay, guys. So don't take it like that. But anyway, here we have Aries, Taurus. So double down on Taurus energy. For some of you, we have timing, action, and change. We did talk about that too. It's a very pretty card. Timing is everything, it points out. And with this particular crystal, which is called Big Spite, super cute. Oh, the moon is also connected here too. I didn't see it. This crystal has impeccable knack for right timing and can encourage you to try new things, pursue an opportunity, or change anything that needs an update. I love that because some of these things, some of these items are going to be new for you. And I love that for you. It encourages energy of it's expressed as action, movement, and progression to move toward true alignment between you and your soul. So update what's outdated with joy and recharge your life. I love that. So this isn't just like, what do they call it? Figuratively speaking, this is Virgo season, you guys, or any season that you catch this video. It's about action. A lot of pink here, so I do love that. I definitely have the ladies in the building. Okay, a lot of pink. Maybe also asking me to remind you guys of possibly checking the transits. Venus is doing something really big in September. I forgot specifically what. Is it Venus in Taurus? It could be, but don't hold me to it. Just look into it and or check out the video tab. I did do a horoscope reading, so I just throw it out there. You also have carnelian, which is super dope. I have some. I'm going to put it right here. So again, reconfirming that some of you could benefit from the root chakra reading or reading 7. I'll say that. This connects to Taurus again, Cancer, Leo, and Scorpio, as well as the sun. Okay. Powerful and bold, carnelian increases confidence in yourself, especially when you need to take center stage and use your voice effectively. A stabilizing stone. It helps to balance volatile emotions. I'm gonna just quit right there because that's that King of Cups energy. But I'll read it. Okay. It helps to control volatile emotions for long-term vitality, believed to protect the soul in the afterlife, and is also a stone of the living, meant to motivate you to take chances with the life that you have, and it's meant to be lived with passion and desire. This stone gives you the courage to do so. So it says carpe diem, seize the day. So I love that. Where are we gonna put this at? I don't know. I don't even feel like nothing is good enough yet. So a card is now got to take one more to be even, but a card is going to come out that's going to give us more information about season that day. And it's something exciting and something adventurous, but we had to get through the blocks first. We got more Kelly Green. I'm into it. This is your card, and Spirit said, that's it. Okay, where we start is where we finish. That's me and Spirit. Like, what I just get to go at or. It's like where you start is where you finish. So you have Emerald, Sagittarius, Venus, Mars, lush and reminiscent in the green of spring. Emerald is known as the stone of successful love, stimulating loyalty, partnership, and friendship. Emerald opens the heart chakra. So I think I said that at the beginning of the video because the heart chakra crystal was connected. I don't know. Y'all hear it, whatever y'all intuitive nudges are. Some look, that's kind of like purple. So here we are with group 1, extra emphasizing on check out the heart chakra, or just for me to double down on heart activations and giving you guys some incentives, like it boosts your aura, that helps with attraction. It does help with your health and also connects the other chakras, because you can't manifest if the energy doesn't move up and down freely. The heart is in the center, so it could help up or down that. All right, so from tarot, what do we have? What does Spirit have for my group 1s? This is super good. I'm starting to really love group 1. Okay, we have, firstly, I love this. So that hypersensitivity is due to your awareness. Be mindful of that. Others of us, our awareness is blended in with optimism. If there are any blocks, these cards, shadow-like, we'll talk about attention. And I connect like the Page of Swords as the little energy in the Page of Wands as the little energy in this 2 of 1 card. So just be mindful of attention deficit, where your attention goes, where your energy goes, where your attention goes, your energy flows type deal. It also talk about taking step 2. So the epiphanies that you have and the bright ideas, if you're feeling blocked or you're feeling stuck, it just talks about your capacity of paying attention, which is possibly how the grounding could help. Or activating your heart chakra will bring you closer in alignment to your higher self, and you can be exactly who you are, but still have the divine intervention of other beings that can zap and tap, and you don't have to do all the hard work. Because I be telling them that all the time. Y'all got super abilities and stuff. So while I'm asleep, yes, I meditate. Yes, I do breath work. Yes, yes, yes. But they have extra abilities to do supernatural things, allegedly, right? Because I ain't telling y'all to cut whatever medical stuff or life hacks y'all got going on to have some aliens, angels, or arc masters. Yes, I just made that word up. You know, performing on you in your sleep. But I was going to say that in my line of work. It is my professional opinion, and just hypothetically speaking, it could happen. And for some of you, there's a reward coming to you. So if you've been waiting for something, one of these items, I feel like there's some sort of party, some sort of, it's about to go down for you. And I definitely appreciate that. And so step 2 means that now that you get this, you do that. You're going to get something that gives you more room to grow to do that. Okay. And I'm just watching how things are put together or how they're made. Maybe you're doing this. Maybe you work with your hands. And look, more hands. Okay. So back to the family issues, good or bad, right or wrong, true or false. It talks about teamwork. It also talks about a collaboration of some sort. Some of you guys, once the blocks are lifted, if you feel blocked, you're going to have more of a social buzz. Those of you that don't feel like you have that, like a lot of energy, a lot of outside entertainment, or your manifestation is kind of dry, this was pointing us again to that sacral chakra that has all those cords and connections and issues that, harness traumas, emotions from past lives. You could have had a decent life this time, but for some reason you still feel weighed down, and you probably have negative experiences when it comes to working with others, maybe. Look into that. All right. Any other words of encouragement? Okay. Still, it's some big about kids, but others of you that Ace of Cups does. Oh, look, it came right back out. Okay. So Ace of Cups is predominantly self-love. And I knew she was going to come out. Spirit is like, yeah, it could be the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords, and that Two of Wands. But it talks about energy and your observation of it. Definitely. Loyalty and dedication, as well as feeling big enough to fit the part. Also, investigate, do more research. If you're passionate about it and intrigued about something, get out there, right? Because this 5 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles says maybe you don't have the energy to do it. Maybe you feel like you don't have the money to do it. Maybe you feel like you don't have support. And even though it's the last thing we want to hear sometimes when people say, well, all that you need is within, honestly, it is. It is true. So yeah, I think that is super dope. Group 1. And I'm gonna not overwhelm you guys with more and more and more and more information. Even though I kind of want to a little bit. I don't mind spoiling y'all. I do want to get a clarifier on the 6 of Wands. Let's see. Because I know that it's awareness. I'm positive. But for some of you guys, it's also reward. Now, just be mindful of not letting your focus close you to new ideas. So your attention. Okay. I knew that. I was just trying to dig deeper. Your intuition. That's important. And keep your eyes on your goals and enjoy every moment. That's also the message of this little Page of Wands that we just saw. Now, spread your wings and fly. Be careful of seeing things that aren't there. That's hyperactivity. But that's also, if we idolize a person, place, or thing that isn't necessarily where we are right now or what we need. If you're into angel numbers or master numbers, you have 44. We have Virgo energy. We also have Aries energy. So just be mindful of September 4th could be important. And we don't want to hold on too tightly. That can stop us from moving forward. Because it's like, where's my block? Stubborn, holding on, restricted, controlling, very suspicious of things. And this isn't you. I'm not like, oh, she going in. This is sometimes Virgo energy. And for whatever reason, they may like you and pull up. And Spirit is saying, you know, you can take the good and leave the bad there. Like, we don't need suspicious. Suspicious is spooky if you let it go too far. But material gain, I'll take that. With the Emperor, same thing. It's a lot of energy that when I did the horoscope reading was advising us, asking us, and cautioning us to be mindful of power plays and power struggles with authority figures and people that just have real shadowy alpha energy. Man, woman, girl, boy, organization, or individual. Taking the high road is important, but a lot of you probably are water signs. Some of you, somebody is, because I think they were the only group where some groups was advised to possibly hold fast to their integrity and their boundaries. But I promise you, 80% of the reading was chill out, especially what was it, Leo, Scorpio, and Aries. It was like, some of that, I won't go into that spirit. It's like, okay. All right. So that's what I have. I won't dig too much deeper. Meditate, take time out if you need to. The answers will come. And sharing your success builds more success. So we don't want to be stingy or be gatekeeping. So if you're dealing with any grief, know that things will get better. Self-pity ain't gonna help us. Despair ain't gonna help us. Disappointment happens. Disillusionment is also okay, because if you're the magician and you the manifester, it may just happen sometimes. And even having fear of risk, but we move out of that energy with our awareness of feeling that we're in it. It's like, oh, okay, hey, you, what's going on? Do you need to sit down? You need to take a break. You need to meditate, or even just put it in your back pocket for a while. But awareness is key, Spirit said. So that's what I have. Welcome in, group 2. Thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to start off by saying I didn't take it into consideration that this deck has stars on it, because literally the channel energy, your additional cards that we'll use in addition to these, because I haven't even seen these or what's going to come out of it. You guys are the stars, like those that would have a strengthened connection to, let's just say, the world outside of us. So no wonder you got the second group and the third eye chakra. Okay. This is very pretty in case you skipped the introduction of your stone. I never even saw it before until I moved to California. So I think that that's super dope to have that versatility. All right. This deck is they don't even make them anymore. And I saw them on YouTube and I was like, oh, I gotta have them. And I found them. I just had an arm and a leg. But the Vintage Morgan Greer Tarot by Paul Foster. I'm just obsessed with blue. So maybe you are too. Bottom of the deck, you have the Six of Pentacles. Now, I don't want to presume before we even get started, but this card is like really big on support. I feel like September and releasing the block is going to bring in a lot of support for you. And if this is your story, then you're not going to want to hear me say, don't be ashamed to ask for help. Reaching out, doing some research to see what resources you could have or whatever. It also talks about friends, family, people in the environment. If you don't have that, your community could be those that are in alignment, that are being sent by, because Spirit is like, yes, they're going to say that. Okay, so this is your soul tribe. Okay. In relationships, for some of you, you have telepathic connections and soulmates that are just stronger, connections than others, whether you guys are together or not. Reciprocity is big with this card. Doing the pros and cons to keep you in line, because it's a strong connection, but at the same time, sometimes they're not walking in the light that they're supposed to as that, counterpart, and a lesson for that soulmate. Because sometimes they are also false persons. The lesson is, how long we gonna dish out and not get back or whatever. Okay. So let's get them shuffled up for my group 2s. Look at that. See, same energy. Taurus is big. We got 2 keys here. Keys open doors. Okay. I'm in multiple dimensions, in the physical and the non-physical. I love the color here. because you got silver, you got gold. It reminds me of like the sun and the moon. It's a marriage that is binded from the beginning of time, and it can't be undone because we on this planet associate the sun and the moon directly with the epitome of masculine and feminine energy. So just be mindful of those preconceived constructs in relationships. But this card coming out just to topic on what could be blocking you. And since we're doing, it's a vibe. This may talk about belief systems, social constructs, and stuff like that. Religion doesn't have to be, but those things that are taboo. I like it. It's interesting. It's definitely a nice icebreaker. The Hierophant is a do what I say. My way or the highway type energy is cool. But how's that working for you? It's also things that we've agreed to, because I don't know why my eyes shifted to the other side of the room, because I'm working on some a tarot deck for you guys, and my eyes shifted to the Ace of Pentacles. So it could be about money beliefs, things that no longer serve us. And I'm looking at, since you guys do have the third eye, this little antenna type thing where he made the rules, or he's holding fast to some traditions that meant something to him, and he uses that to teach others and make sure that they abide by it. So is this little antenna interfering with your little frequency? I don't know. It's also a marriage card. All right. When I said that, you guys have the sun card at the bottom of the deck. So I don't know. I have a deck actually where the Hierophant has a girl and a boy in the arms of a nun. That's the Hierophant card in that deck, and I think it's so cool. But in this deck, instead of having the two kids, it's physical. It's symbolic. So they got the two keys, but you still got the two at the bottom. So that's very interesting. Now, a lot of changes are here. You may have a connection to a hierarchy, like whatever your spiritual belief is. If you're like into source, a particular archangel, ascended master, or guide, someone probably other than an ancestor, there is a connection where you could be. I'm gonna just show it to you because I won't take these as your cards. I want to shuffle and get very precise energy, and spirit is like, those are it. Spirit know how I feel about them 5 swords, and I'm like, damn, you gonna come out with the devil card? It could be as simple as some squares that are coming about. Check out the horoscope reading. We have Capricorn, we have Taurus, and those two energies, if squared, are very strong. Okay, I will say the benefit is the Capricorn energy is coming through like the Aquarius would under the construct of Taurus or the Hierophant, for freedom and ready to rebel. But that could cause some sort of conflict because you ain't supposed to be doing that, you free thinker. Communication could be an issue. Fears, how we communicate those fears. So our conflicts and our challenges may have something to do with not only the belief system, but liberating ourselves. So we're binded. We're binded by those beliefs, and it interferes with our money. It interferes with our psyche. And talking about psyche with the devil card, it's a deal. I was going to say a deal breaker. It's a no-brainer for me that also talks about internal. Like there's some energy, and I try to keep it like general for everyone, but some of you guys are like spiritual beings, and you pick up what I'm putting down. And I don't want to scare anybody and say, oh, it's dark energy in your psyche. That's literally what these cards mean. But if I were to try to make it more common, it's some dark energy. It's in your subconscious. It's like that what do they call it? Intrusive thoughts. Let's just say that. We don't want to scare anybody off, right? So intrusive thoughts for my third eye people. And look at that. You got the little shindaku there. And I said that I saw the Ace of Pentacles. That's crazy. And we just saw the Sun card that look just like this. We have the 15th that could be significant. The 5th. That's very interesting. You guys got a lot of 5s. So I'm going to keep them. Okay. Don't be deterred because of the symbolism or whatever. It's just a spiritual war between good, bad, right and wrong, old, new. I think that you incarnated to liberate yourself from past contracts. or you had some very strong beliefs that no longer serve you. So, for example, you could have incarnated from a life of being, I don't know, like a monk or something. You know, the people that they don't live in society, they don't need money, they don't connect with outsiders, even family. They probably don't have children, etc., etc. And then you incarnate into this life. You may have kids. You could be trying to like keep it together with family or start a new one. You know, being the generational curve creator type deal. And you just don't know why. Like, why are some things complicated when it comes to residence, finances, jobs, people, relationships? It's just a challenge. But you could have not had those things. Some of us take vows of silence and wonder why we lack influence and are rarely heard. You know what I mean? So there's that. And I said I wasn't going to look. I said I was going to take them, but I just keep being nosy. Look, keep being nosy. Jesus. There could be some sort of document or doctrine that you should challenge. Ooh, there is a phase within I think mid-September, and I apologize for the noise. We're looking over contracts is important, and so for some of you that's important spiritually, but it's also important like physically. I'm gonna stop being nosy, but some of y'all probably saying don't. There could be an offer coming towards you, a missed opportunity resurfacing. A missed opportunity resurfacing. It is definitely a soulmate. So it may be marriage. And these two cards together says that it's a union of opposites. Ooh, a union of opposites and a conflict. So that created a block possibly. If you're very different and you've been, I don't want to call it like a black sheep or something, but you're very different or unique from, you know, your partner or people in your environment, that's creating some sort of, you know, and you kind of look, I don't want to say it like that. It's like, oh, you're a people pleaser. But something is possibly holding you back, and it's just build up some, you know, shadowy energy inside, but not your own shadow. You know what I'm saying? Like if people say do shadow work, this isn't like your shadow type energy. It's circumstances and situations that have just created their own little rent free in your head type deal. Now, another thing that I thought was super dope was the bottom of the deck for your star cards that I'm getting to. You have the seal of Venus. That's definitely love. So some of you guys do have love connections that have caused blocks. And notice it's very vibrant purple. Okay. We just did the crown reading. I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but there you have it. I also feel that elemental magic, self-love, and protection is also kind of like that cup energy that we just saw when I said, oh, it could be an offer coming in. What someone has to offer. Okay. And also getting that support. An offering. Okay. These are the two cards that came out for you. You have the seal of evolutionary colors. I'll go over that because you're like, okay, what does that mean? You also have gate of returning. The gate of returning came out first, and it talked about entrance, death, rebirth, and passage. And I thought that was cool. I felt it, but I also went to the guidebook and said, hey, what is this specifically? It connects to Scorpio, Gemini, Libra energy, the sun, Venus, and Pluto. It's also connected to the crown and the soul star. So I thought that was cool. And it's a renewal of, I laughed. Okay. Maybe that's why that card is here. And maybe you guys are traditional, so I need to keep it cute. But it was funny, so I have to share it with you. So be patient with me and just like be open. Okay. I thought about, because I like music, all kinds of music, and watching videos and stuff. I always see conspiracy theorist videos on, you know, all kind of social media networks where they accuse people of being part of, you know, taboo communities because of the symbolism in some of the reenactments of the video. And it's like, why are you using big words and talking in circles? Okay. Because I don't want to point nobody out specifically, but I remember like when the artist changes, or like it be me against me type song. T.I. had one where he was in the car and the car, you know, expanded. I'll say that to not get, you know, marked or whatever. through YouTube. I don't want people to think it's like we talking about the T word up in here. That ends with ism. But yeah, he was in the car and the car expanded, on fire. And then he appeared behind it, and I feel like he had on different clothes. Like if he was in the car and had on black, he resurfaced in white. Rihanna did it, I think, in Umbrella. I'm not sure, where she did something, was no longer, and resurfaced. You feel me? I think Beyonce did it. You know what I mean? They be like, oh, those people, rah, rah, rah. And I ain't in a business. I don't know. I'm not disagreeing with y'all, but this card is a very pleasant, non-toxic, demonic sort of energy of recreating yourself, where the person that you were is not the person that you are now. And that's because of a rite of passage, the things that you've experienced in the past, or just where you want to go in the future. And you're here in this reading, so clearly there may have been something that you have concerns about, or that you were curious about. And yours, group 2, is big because it's pretty much saying rebrand altogether. But that could be tough when we still holding on to some of those beliefs that may be indifferent with who we are and some things that we want. Some people who would like financial abundance, but also think that having a lot of money means selling your soul, or rich people evil. That's what money gonna be like. You don't like me? Y'all be making them crazy stories about me, so why would I, come to you type deal? And I don't want to offend anyone. I'm just trying to paint a picture. And I just say, be patient, be open, because I'm not talking, at you. I'm just talking to you. But it's a beautiful card because I love renewal. That is so refreshing and inspiring, to be like your own competition, to not need validation, and to be honest with yourself and say, hey, who I was yesterday or 2 years ago, that person isn't in alignment with who I think I am, or where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to do. And so you don't carry guilt, shame, that 5 of cups that I saw, those conflicts and challenges. You don't carry that because you're willing to admit, I saw that, I accept that, and I'm getting rid of it. Okay. So that's why I love that. And for some of you, that is the biggest challenge. Now, this one is beautiful. And I got some bonus cards here too, because yes, I'm smart, but I had to look in the guidebook for all that juice on it, because I was like, tell me more. This one, and by the way, I honestly just pulled these cards out to use them as bookmarks, but the way that they are in alignment with what I'm saying was crazy. So I'm gonna show them to you. The Self Evolutionary of Colors card talks about the changing colors and geometries signify new movements and expressions. And so you won't be moving the same. You will express yourself different. It does talk about redefinition of interest. So things that a group of people probably taught you certain beliefs, you don't have them same beliefs. You probably never have, but you may have respected them, or they were just a part of you. It also talks about awareness of availability. And this is where it got good, because now you're open and being considered, by higher dimensions to move around in different areas, changing in multiple, it's generating change in multiple areas of your life. So I thought that was super cool, where you're shifting, your aura shifts, your situation shifts, your circumstances shift, and your life shift. The path branches in many directions, offering valuable choices and insights to be experienced. So there's going to be change for you, and I'm not upset about it. Now, this card that I just didn't even look at, they were flipped over and I was using it for a bookmark, literally says lessons learned and moving forward. So I think that's super cool. This card also connects to Archangel Raphael if you are into guidance. It also talks about getting out of a toxic situation. So for some of you, that is a marriage. That marriage could be to a belief system. That marriage could be to a person. It could just be whatever soul contract in the past that you had. And if you say, well, I don't know, I would offer you to do some guided meditations, or to just think about it and don't shut out what images or thoughts come into your head. They're speaking to you. Others of you, it's hard, but you'll be okay. And see, that's what I feel like the challenge. because we're not gonna allow it to change, and you'll be fine. So that's just the spirit saying, okay, don't beat yourself up. We ain't for to sit in here and judge you. All right. And then this card that I use as a placeholder for the gateway of returns. Maybe I should sit them over there by the cards they came out with. That might be good. Okay. You got look at that. Luck and love as well as fulfillment. You got happy family, and you also have stay positive. So I thought that was cute. The overall message is you'll be okay and stay positive. Now, for additional insight, we're going to dig into what could be blocking you. What information or guidance do you need? What areas of shadow work? Any type of improvement. That's what this reading is for. It's a vibe. Let's see what we got. I also have some tarot cards sitting right here. In addition to, of course, the ones I've taken out for you. Okay, Spirit said not those. Great. Oh, it's like and see how you got the multitude of colors within the one object, like this change. So I thought that was cool. Tourmaline, love, balance, and clarity. Gemini, Virgo, Venus, and Saturn energy. Relationships are the currency of life. This crystal rises awareness of soul agreements. Oh my God. That impact you and other people's lives. It's supercharged to activate the heart chakra, creating a divine connection between you and your higher self. Like the watermelon, it teaches you, look at that word teaches, and you got lessons learned. It teaches you to enjoy the sweetness. So there may be experiences that were sent to you via soulmates to teach you a lesson, to energetically cut cords and break that connection that we may have internalized as trauma and whatever negativity that came from it. It wasn't meant to do that, but could be now blocking you. So revisit that if it resonates. You have aura light. Oh, and the number 23. And they don't, look, these cards, I didn't think they had numbers. So the death energy, the rebirth, the renewal, the totally different you, for some of you, that is very strong. I like that. And if you say, well, why do you like that? The number 23 has infamously been known for a sign. Oh, excuse me. It's been known for a sign. So when you see it, it appears, usually they say multiple times, but period, right? It's written in stone at this point. That number is significant to something big and some sort of change or some gateway or portal or sign. I think 23 is also connected to Venus, but I don't want to make that up. You have Aquarius, Pisces, and Neptune here. It says containing 23 different mineral energies. That's why it's called Aura Light 23. It promotes undeniable clarity and raises sharp intuition, which your third eye has the capacity to do. It's an ancient stone, talented in assisting with past life and ancestral healing. How about that? So I think that's your answer. For sure. Past life issues, family issues. It also enhances metaphysical abilities, and it's hard for somebody to improve metaphysical abilities if they have strong theological beliefs sometimes, or if you're overly practical and you just ain't into certain things, but you have gifts and abilities that are like next door neighbors to those things that you find taboo. It happens. Ain't nobody fault. It helps you activate the human experience, and that we are all multidimensional beings by going within and becoming aware of your inner self, meditating basically. You will be able to show up and be more fully authentic as yourself. So I feel like what's blocking you is you may not feel like you can fully be yourself. And there's a reason for it. Very interesting. Very interesting. You have rebirth, portal, and desire. Virgos, Sagittarius, and Mercury, reflecting the beautiful part of your soul. Ooh, Ethiopian. So some of y'all got some real good mystic blood in y'all body. I was about to say Jew, but some people misinterpret, Jew. There's Jewish, which I actually have a connection to Ashkenazi, so I get it. But then Jew is different. They are a people of their own. They're not really connected to like the religious Jewish people. They're Jewish. They're Jews by blood. So it's different. And y'all know that Africa is like the mothership or origin of mysticism. And if you believe in archangels and ascended masters, that is mysticism. I didn't know that. I thought it was universal, that those beings exist. But I have Christian friends that when I talk about like Metatron and stuff like that, they be like, "Oh, that's that mystic stuff," or like I was like, "Oh," but Gabrielle is in the Bible, so they just it's I just be like, okay, I respect it because we real good friends and they be passionate about it, and I don't want to start nothing. So it says full of joy, right? High vibrational stone, yes. And see, somebody looking at a black card wouldn't think high vibrational comes from it. And if you say, who said that? Yes, I would. Yeah, traditionally the darker stones are heavy and known for protection and respected, even used in Reiki. But when you think high vibrational, you'll look at something like this. You know what I mean? Sometimes it might not be you, but in this particular situation, look at that. So I thought that's kind of cool to know. Why is it so bright? Oh my God, y'all reading just bust up and got, I think because of these. Let me see. Look at that high vibration. You see, you gotta raise your vibration. That's what's happening for you this month. That Pluto Scorpio energy is thick here. Queen of Cups. I don't like the Queen of Cups being involved in toxic marriages and complicated situations, but we do have the Pynx here. So regardless, they don't know who they're playing with. If they see you as the Queen of Cups and then want to play with you. But she is very intuitive and she has the intuition. She also likes to, how can I say it? She's okay with the underdog and she likes to experiment. So she'll go in the forest, and that is the place where you get the experiences that are supposed to teach you lessons for you to evolve into, the mother of the crown or something. But they're instead internalized and now, a part of our soul and keep us up at night. So this card also talks about burning unhealed karma from the past. So if you weren't, the victim per se of what's going on and created karma, because they say we incarnate with it. I think karma is self-inflicted. And if alchemy exists and, miracles and manifestations exist, then people are, it's my personal opinion, people are not limited to any preconceived karma that was written in stone that's supposed to kick your butt throughout this life or whatever. Speaking of the Queen of Cups, double trouble is at the bottom. This calcite has a unique optical quality. When you're looking through the stone, it appears doubled. Okay. Calcite can amplify energy for higher awareness and healing, pairing with other crystals and taking on the attributes. And see, those of you that consume energy that isn't yours and taking on their attributes, family issues, relationships, becoming our, abusers and accusers, just be mindful of that. I won't even go all that deep. And look how pretty that is. Okay, we are not them. All right, Spirit. What else? Because I feel like this is in order. What else do you have for my beautiful group 2? We're going to take some. I think, okay. I saw, what is this? Somebody got diamond. It didn't want to come out. You almost there, though. Maybe you need to value your self-worth. God's precious gem. Okay. It wanted to come out, but it didn't. Ooh. It did. I shuffled it and it's on top, but I was going to say, you know why I didn't? Look at that. You alien, you. And I'm just playing. It says Moldavite. It says unconventional. Look how Spirit set that up. You have God's precious gem on one side and you have unconventionality on the other. Gosh, man. Your unique qualities are an important part of your life purpose. So just imagine this was some folklore and you're a character in the book And your character is destined to be a hybrid of some sort or just be a little bit different from whatever is super specific. And you won't even live up to your character in the book because you looking around at the other characters. I'm not saying you doing that. But it says it's okay to feel and be different from others. I'm going to put that Moldavite right there. Ooh, and look at the colors. I'm just going to sit there right there. And notice we talked about the moon and the sun. The last card on the bottom of the deck is Amatrin. It says balancing masculine and feminine energies. So your creative side inspires you, while your masculine side provides the confidence to have it. Super cool. Super cool. All right, now, group 3. We are going to get started with your reading. What a beautiful song. If you skip the introduction, I'll give you another opportunity to just sit with it. Look at that. That is gorgeous. We are pulling tarot, oracle, and any other divination tool I am inspired, instructed, or need to for you guys. So excited to share this moment with you, and I definitely appreciate your presence. The deck that we are starting with is The Soul's Journey. Now, before I started this reading, my voice started cracking. So I think it's very important, since you were intuitively guided, to the throat chakra, that it may be important for some, because I think it's split. Well, it wasn't the throat chakra. It was this deck and the crystal. But there may be a need for you to express yourself, as well as those of you that are manifesting and you're like, well, what's blocking me? What's stopping me? What are the challenges? The importance of the throat chakra, outside of speaking, being authentic, because that matters when you're trying to attract. You got to be real with yourself. And sometimes when we're not and we don't see it, like, we mean well. It's a long story, because like, you got different signs in your chart, and how you think you come off and what people actually see sometimes is different. We got to get it together. We get mixed up and mixed in. Anyway, speaking authentically is your source of power. In addition to that, is what you communicate into the universe as well. But the Kundalini has to rise all the way up. And if there's any blocks anywhere, it could interfere with it. But specifically with the throat chakra, when your manifestation is going to bust out of your vortex, which is connected to the heart, that throat chakra is like a door. You know what I mean? So if there's an issue, boom. I've noticed, and I'm not a medical professional, but I've also noticed that issues that come about with the throat affect people differently, like, thyroids and hair and all kind of stuff. So I ain't going to get into all that stuff, but whatever you inspired to check out and sit with, you can do that. Bottom of the deck, there's indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. I don't know why I was like Libra, but it doesn't have to be you or someone you're connected to. It's just the energy of it. September, because I did a horoscope reading for all signs. Check it out. It's on the page. If they struggle with anything, because they don't really struggle with stuff, child, it's just going to be, is what it is or what it ain't. And I think they more so move out of certain energies that are chaotic. But if they do struggle with anything, it could be indecision, and that could cause them to not communicate, shut down, stuff like that. So if you manifest to the person and they, like Spirit said, don't go out. Okay, cool. Trust, and look at that blue right there. Do you speak authentically from your thoughts? Like, you thinking something, or you saying what you think, and it's kind of like handshake and smile matching. Others of you, Virgo season, because I'm not pointing fingers and stuff like that. It could just be in the environment that initiates a connection with you, and then before you know it, you in a mix of energy trying to understand why. So Virgo and Scorpio, I've noticed, share that intense, and maybe Aquarius in shadow, but that intense. Aquarius is more inquisitive. They about to go look. It's gonna bother them, and they gonna find out. But sometimes Scorpio and Virgo, they could have it for no reason. It's just in there, and it's uncomfortable. People around you may not understand or be patient with you about it. So just be mindful of that. Trust. around this time. You also have self-esteem, posing gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. It's not just about you, it's about our whole collective. And there's a need for you to be authentic and loud and proud with it, because you're doing something amazing for us as a collective, and we need you to be your authentic self. Okay. I need you to be your authentic self, because I don't know what your gift or your ability is. And if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Right. And love, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I like that. And I noticed that the similarities in the color, like trust is a deeper rooted issue, but love kind of lightens things up. And I noticed that love and trust both have that red, backdrop. So that's very interesting combination. Maybe we'll see if we can, and so does indecision. Are you indecisive due to not even, fully believing that you deserve what you're manifesting or what's on your mind? And I'm not trying to downplay the situation, but I want to say that's a decent block to have, because if my block was just me, all I have to do is adjust myself. And what you can do to make that adjustment is trust that you are exactly all that, who you think you are. And in doing so, start walking in that energy. So pretty dope, pretty cool. We're going to use some astro cards because they're also connected to alignments, crystals, and chakras. And I just thought that they would be beautiful for us this reading. We got so many styles with the pick of cards, and I don't use them as often because I'm into, I gotta, how when you go through phases, like I like hot pink for a while, then I like pastels or silver and gold, and they just real colorful. Look, they're just real colorful. And Spirit said this card was for you guys. It was sitting at the top of the deck, but I wanted a fresh shuffle, and it came back out for you. So I don't know if you saw it or not. Growth, alignment, and cleanse. You have all signs. So I think you guys may need to check out that all signs reading for September. But you have sun and moon. Sun and moon is masculine and feminine energies. You could be coming in alignment with something or someone. And speak your truth, man. They're going to love exactly who you are. So don't hold back. If you're in a relationship, strengthening that relationship by being more confident may shock and surprise your partner, and you guys go into a deeper trust. Because they like, something off, right? Take people out of the situation. You could just feel like something off, or somebody feel like something off. And I don't like that. Just imagine if you're supposed to be whatever it is you're supposed to be, but not really giving that off. And the people are not seeing your greatness because they feel like something off, because maybe you holding back and you ain't said something, or maybe you don't trust them. You know what I'm saying? That hindered me once. I did an audition, and I think I'm the creme of the crop, creme de la. I had bars for days back in the day, right? But I go to the audition and I'm just like, all that super go-getter bad chick energy that I have in my hometown, it was not there that day. And then people was kind of looking at me like, why I even came. So stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold yourself back. But it contains all color of the spectrum. Quartz is considered to be high vibrational with metaphysical powers. So because you're a conduit of energy. The quartz generates electromagnetic energy and dispels electricity, absorbing, storing, and releasing, and regulating positive and negatives. It's highly personal, and it works with your energy field one-on-one. So what are we attracting? Get rid of that negativity. That's what sulfur does. So whatever negativity that came out of Leo season for you, we got to let it go, because sulfur is very good for a road opening. I used to do like candles and stuff like that, but I know that it connects to, and it says it right here, bottled up emotion. It also talks about that manifests into skin conditions, fevers, and emotional outbursts. So be mindful of that. And since we're talking about negative and positive energy, sulfur has a negative electrical charge, allowing it to absorb toxicity and destruction of your surroundings. Okay, so I accept this, because we over here talking about love, and just be mindful of your surroundings and the people in it that one could have hindered your self-esteem and your trust. That got to go because there's something more universal and more accepting of you coming in the near future, and they don't deserve whatever you be dishing out because of your environment or your past experiences. Okay, that was hard for me to say because I feel like who you think you are talking to them people like that? And then I'm really trying to get back to the top of the deck, but seeing Golden Herkimer, sweetheart, that's like the 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. That's one of the highest vibrations you can feel because golden anything in crystals is like the divine itself, left little sprinkles of itself in it. And Herkimer amplifies any and everything, right? And it literally says sunshine, joy, and vitality, if you can see that, containing floating gold liquid. Okay, anytime I hear about liquid and gold, I think about breath work that could be beneficial for you, especially those of you that have bottled up emotions and frustrations, and you can just feel it in your throat, feel it in your chest sometimes. Breath work works magnificently at dispelling negative energy and putting that, good stuff inside. Now, rare and possessing wisdom from the Himalayas. Now we're talking like Reiki and super, super, super high vibration. This stone stimulates your third eye and enhances intuition and connections to the universe. It promotes gender fluidity and acceptance. So if you're dealing with any issues like that, you don't have to. All right. It says that it assists in transitions and connecting with one's gender or healing wounds. Okay. Personal wounds of whatever sort. And it's strongly tied to the solar plexus also. So just keep that in mind if you are, considering checking out any of the other readings. Okay. So I'm going to put it here because when the golden healer pops up and said trust, that's like the big homies. I call them the brothers because I connect with the Pleiades, the seven sisters, and I know they have like a golden ray or the brotherhood or whatever. So when I see that, it's a very masculine energy that is super supportive, and usually, especially for some of us on earth that don't have that. So yeah, let's see here. I just laughed. Y'all might be connecting with old friends. And look, nope, Spirit said not them, because transition, release, and change is here with Libra, Jupiter, and Neptune, and that's a funny energy. Because I brought up Libra at the beginning of the video. Jupiter is about expanding, joy, a good time, and Neptune, it's I don't want to say it wrong, but it's a very dreamy, fairy like energy. It's also spiritual too. But it says change is coming, and it's the perfect crystal to help you with those transitions. All right. And look, that card was talking about transitions. Oh my God, they're just speaking to you. Ascension and attunement. Some of you guys, it's like spirit is not wanting to focus on what the issue is. They're just saying all you have to do is do attunements and ascend and raise your vibration. That's going to help you not to sit and try to figure out what specific thing, what specific person, what's wrong with me, what can I do better. Just raise your vibration, and a lot of that negativity floats away. Oh my God, that's so cute. I'm reading it to see, because they just talking and talking and talking, and and if you want me to keep going, I will. But I was like, I was gonna shuffle some. Spirit said, no, okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna get your tarot, but I'm just being nosy. So that's some good stuff. Okay, I like the little green eye. All right, who's connected to that green eye? Like, I don't know, one of y'all gods or something like that. Now, what else do we have for my group 3? Energy. We may have a yes in the near future. Those of you that made to release blocks. Oh, look at that. The literal block card is here. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. Damn. Okay, the Tower card, the Queen of Swords, like doing some work, receiving a lot of information, seeing through the veil. That's where you get the trust from. Or if we've hardened ourselves in certain areas due to, like I said, past experiences. I said rightfully so, because I be on y'all side. I don't know if a lot of people do that. The cards do say one thing, but as a human, all them experiences, I don't care. Rightfully so. I said it. If you've carried a lot of weight and done most of the work in relationships at work with coworkers, or you just feel like in life you working hard, and then the people who ain't doing nothing taking trips um, and balling out, that is, frustrating. And like I said, those frustrations getting clogged up in the throat, you can feel it. Others of us, I see this little blue light down here. It's something connected to the root. The root is our intimate relationships, our feeling of safety and stability. So if we felt safer and more comfortable, we would probably communicate in a more vulnerable or authentic way. Okay. If we hadn't had difficulties in intimate relationships, we may have better self-esteem. And then here's love, the brothers, the golden healer, and the crystals. Like, okay, we're here type deal. And for us to connect deeper to you, you have to raise your vibration a little bit, because just imagine a high vibrational being trying to sneak into this energy and help us do stuff. We have to meet it halfway, and that's the whole point of health and wellness. It's not just to keep us out of trouble or to be goody two shoes. It's an actual alchemical, scientific, biological, real deal of frequency and the law of attraction, like magnets. Now, I feel like y'all getting something. I feel like it's work for some of you guys, or pay increase. I saw that. A soulmate for some of you from the past. Okay. I feel like coming out of turbulence and recovering some memories. Those memories may heighten your self-esteem when you feel more empowered to who you truly are in this life. So I think that's super dope. I want to keep this one. We have 2 cups. So for some of you, it could be love. Others of you, it's just showing the energy difference. That's what I've always noticed in this deck, where the masculine energy be looking so depleted, and this red energy, which in the past, oh no, the lover's card. See, it's a lady and she's red, and the man in the lover's card, he's this one, and he's so depleted, leaning on her. And I just saw that 10 of Wands and the Queen of Swords, so that could be significant. Speak your peace, okay? I don't know if you feel like you got to hang on to certain things because you don't trust you'll be okay by yourself. You will, but I'm not telling you to do that. Codependency is crazy. Oh my God. Anyways, what we got? Okay. The Page of Cups with self-esteem, talking about gifts of the soul, the benefits of using them. Something has to go for you to be able to do that. And I think it's resentment. I think it's like hanging on to things. Like, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm using an example of energy, and I want you to change it any way you feel like, if it does resonate. But I have had like friends or people, or even seen it in movies, where somebody is used to being disappointed or, not having things. And so the couple of things that they have, they hold tight to them like a blanket from childhood, or they just, you feel me? Like, if I think I'm explaining it because I don't like to like overindulge in negativity and put it in your brain, but you know what I mean? Like, I'll use a funny example. The baby from Cash Money said that he put TVs in every room of his house when he first got rich, because when he was growing up, they didn't have TVs. It's kind of like that. It's like holding on to a resentment. Now, clearly it didn't hold him back too much, but I feel like he had to transmute that resentment of not having, and he used it to say, I'm going to get it one day. So he gave up lack, you know what I'm saying, in return for the rich gang. You know what I mean? So what else do we? Oh, I'm sorry. This card wanted to stay out. This is that negative energy. Thank you, Spirit. And I didn't even. Okay, yes, I did. I got 2 clarifiers here, and I was gonna say I didn't even need you. Yes, I did, because it took this little bit of yellow poking out for me to say that's energy. Okay, so energy increases. Yes, vibration rises, but group 3, I feel like you have some negative energy that may have always been in your environment through actual energy, the invisible people, places, and things. the natal chart you got and how the planets was aligning at your conception, whatever the reason. This confirms that sulfur thing, and for some of us, our perspective. And then when I talked about the masculine coming in, healing and helping, it's like releasing you from not being able to defend yourself, not being able to communicate, changing your perspective where you have the overall picture and insight. Because usually the ego is flying around, and the moral of the story is it sees everything from a higher view. But this one, they done tied it up, so it ain't up high. And then if you're feeling stuck, there's a story about like the eagle and something about sunset, child, when the sun I ain't lying. You if y'all into folklore, so y'all read history books, because I like art and history and theology and all that stuff. But it is a story about like, it's a, what do you call it? A metaphor about rising and awakenings and like the golden time of day. You know, they got R&B songs about the golden time of day. But what it just means is it's just a time, you know, to be alive. And it's emphasized on how good that feels, because clearly it wasn't like that before that moment. If that makes sense, without messing up, butchering whatever this story is about the eagle and how the sun rises and what that means, right? So, but it's definitely about energy. I'll take a clarifier on that in a second. I think that's that holding on and resentment. I'm just let y'all look at that, because it's over there about love, and harmony and balance, and those two cups. And then you got temptations coming in, messing up the harmony and balance in situations. So that could be some people having trust issues in relationships, and you don't communicate that. So you just walk around holding it in, creating blocks. You want to check, but you don't, you know, whatever. And it also talks about how baby was hoarding all them TVs because he had an issue. But when he transmuted that resentment, he just balanced out his life, I guess, by actually buying the TVs, child. So he didn't have those memories of not having them. Hey, now there could be a reconciliation or just a change in chemistry, because spirit wants me to focus on energy. Okay, I'm gonna take another one. Okay. Getting close to source. I feel like the Akashic records and meditating. I feel like wish fulfillment comes in. I feel like there's self-limitation behind money. I feel like we need to ground ourselves. I feel like change ourselves. And if you say, what do I need to change? Take risk. Get out there like this. You see? There could be a new beginning. This is a new season. And spirit wants you to take advantage of that energy. All the butterflies says that they are surrounding you energetically. You just don't see them. And then I like the little dragon and everything, you know, around him. He got power he don't even know he got. And I feel like that's you. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So now let's see what else we got. That is something else. I'm going to shuffle them up just to make sure. Oh, forgiveness heals. Look at that pretty pink. All right. Let's see. What do we have for my group threes? Group 3, please. Okay. Wellness with Jade. Jade is a very beautiful stone, and it talks about the recovery of health and wellness is here. So honestly, I be trying to make sure I touch on anything I channel for your practical life, but your true answers, all of you guys across the board, is raising your vibration. That raises your abundance. You also got the diamond card, and I think the diamond card is pulling up for specific people and special persons, because it'll pop up here and there in some of the readings. But value your self-worth. You are God's precious gem, if you needed to hear that. And life lessons. I saw that Ace of Pentacles, and I didn't want to go there all the time, like taking the whole preachy route. I just said maybe some conflict about the material world, some limited beliefs. But the good news is, releasing ourselves from those restraints. And it literally says you break free from reoccurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and by and blessings and the blessings they contain. So I think that was the Ace of Pentacles with the Fool card. Um and just maybe repeating some lessons, and it just feels like never ending with the Eight of Swords. Okay. Others of you guys have magic. Okay, because the Eight of Swords is sometimes connected to just directing that energy in a way that shifts the algorithm, and you just be finding loopholes after loopholes. Okay, I think that's what that Jade was about. Natural beauty and authenticity. Okay, I think the Spirit trying to tell me, okay, shut up, you didn't nailed it. Here, here is the balance of the energies right there. Be yourself as God made you, naturally attractive and lovable inside and out. Group 3. And I do hope that that helps. Group 4. Thank you guys for tuning in, and with this big heart all around. I was like, this whole reading just for y'all. Okay. I have some channel messages. I'll reiterate, if that's how you say it, the crystal, in case you skipped the introduction and just saw it and was like, I'm going for there, before I change my mind. Cool. Okay. Brand new deck for me. I've had these for a few months and I love them. So this is going to be good. The channel messages connect to, how do I say this? Excuse me. I feel like there's renewal after like dark phases. It talks about good fortune, prosperity, and blessings. The wheel of the year is turning for you guys. All right. Now we'll see and determine whose energy this is that I picked up on, because self-love came up, and I love, using that for advice. We all need that. And it also told me the story about like self-love being amplified, like the shadow side of self-love. Some people see it's narcissism. Now I ain't gonna get into that, so don't block me, right? Because that's a very triggering word, and I'm split when it comes to it. And I don't know if Source want me to be the devil's advocate today or just mind my business. Which one am I gonna say? Devil's advocate, mind my business. Devil's advocate. For real? Cool. I must have got some air signs up in here. I'm just playing. Well, as we get to the gist of your cards, just because this might be good and at least entertaining, I won't keep y'all long. When I talk to people about narcissism, they have educated me on extreme cases that get diagnosed because they're, to me, it sounds like sociopath. So I guess I'm looking at the black and white in the book, and I get that. But I also remind people that self-love is the same thing, and they get mad at me. And I don't think they've had my same experience in life, where you are an empath. You may be passive aggressive, or, avoid confrontation and usually get the short end of the stick, and especially in karmic relationships. You the runner and they, or the chaser or whatever. So when you get activated and you connect to the Holy Spirit, whatever you into, your higher self, and you receive love, it detaches you when you on your last lifetime, because everybody be like, I don't want to reincarnate no more. And some of us that is true for. I've noticed in that experience, your mission is detachment. That comes off sometimes as narcissism. Self-love comes off as narcissism. Not needing people because the Holy Spirit in your body and God is walking with you to the wrong person is narcissism. So I usually, when I have these discussions in social media or in public spaces, just like to offer that perspective, and rarely anyone agrees with me or here's where I'm coming from. And maybe that's my sole purpose, because, Metatron is my homie and we all into transmutation and changing perspective. So I'm just leaving little seeds on earth about different ways to see things. And you're like, what does that have to do with us? So if it didn't have anything to do with you, it wouldn't have came up. So your crystal is one of the most unique out of everyone. And I think that is super cool. I'm a huge fan of black and white. And if you throw in some turquoise and some different hues of gold and marble, that is just elegant. You have the Green Witch Oracle deck that emphasizes on relating things through nutrients, herbs, and stuff like that. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Bottom of the deck, you got duality. I think that's what sparked my interest, because duality is in our dimension. The higher ups don't have that. So it's like unconditional love, universal love, and it's not gender fluid, because they be like, oh, when people say God, they always say he. Or you think of the Holy Spirit, it's like she, but it's supposed to be God. And I'm not getting into that, but you get what I'm saying? There's no duality there. There's no, it's just it. So that could be significant. Okay. Because you're like, how can I activate my heart? How can I get my aura stronger? Because your heart is strongly connected to your magnetism. Just like the earth has that, that hollow blue. Spirit said hollow blue. Is that a thing? What is hollow blue? It's a fuzz. You see that little aura around earth when you look at it online or whatever. Humans have that too. And your heart is the control center for what yours is like. And that energy is what I think controls, but along with some other components, what you're manifesting. So there you have that. Now, group 4, we're going to get started. And like I said, I'm not going to bore you to death. I just had to get that out because it was intuitive and I'll forget or say it wrong and get confused. What do you have, Spirit? Okay. I'm nosy. I looked at the other cards. Oh, okay. Marigold. We have Leo. We have the number 40. We have a dream catcher. Okay. We have the sun. That's protection. I love that. Positivity is good. And I think marigold, what is marigold for? I've seen it in like love conversations, and I know it's real popular as like a lipstick and a nail polish, y'all. But it is definitely sun energy. It talks about passion and desire. And as we talk about duality, I'm getting Capricorn energy, but it talks about protection, to guard against negativity, and it brings in blessings. So your next 30 days, or just in general, is timeless. It's about bringing in positivity, longevity. So you may be getting more committed relationships. You may have extended periods of abundance. We always get good luck here and there, but it feels like, is our life like shifting permanently? Like, do we get out of the stuff that's been going on permanently ever? Or is it, So for you guys, it's your time to shine that way. And so I think that's super dope. What else do we got? And it also has a strong scent. So a scent could be, oh my God, it is used in perfumes. So you're attracting. Oh, they can smell you. All right. You have hope. Spirit gave it to me. I was getting ready to do y'all reading and I saw this. And I said, I want to look into what this means. And Spirit was like, no, because my readings are better when I just intuitively start shuffling cards and running my mouth. When I get all super educated and have to know exactly what stuff is, I'm already sound like a robot. It just make it worse. And I'm trying to connect to humans, right? This is the story about the self-love and the narcissism, whatever. I don't even like saying it, okay? Because I don't want to trigger nobody that y'all start thinking about how y'all program that word in y'all head, and the people that it's connected to, we ain't gonna do that. But look what's right behind it. And then look what's still saying, check me out. So there's two sides to every story. That's what duality is. It's, wow, you got success, you got attraction. See, some of that energy that we deem to be unattractive in others that abuse it, that's the same energy that we need sometimes to get what we're trying to get. Does that make sense? Like when people overly do anything, ambition, success, and wealth, some people look at them and feel like it's kind of tacky. But then you grow a relationship with that resentment, and it could, run from you, right? It's like, but that's real innocent. That's wholesome. That Spirit brought this card back out. You're transforming. Okay. This is also where the moving out of dark ages into the light. It talks about new beginning and resurrections. Okay. Sometimes it's connected to Easter. So some of y'all, April could have a significance to where we're going with this, but Spirit could just be reminding me that I jokingly said, this is the first like fall that it felt like spring was coming in, or like a New Year's kind of energy, where it's New Year's, new me. It's like a big clean. I don't ever remember being in August and September feeling this energy of renewal like that. So it's kind of cool. I'm giving you this card because I was like, Spirit, I ain't even start y'all reading. And I'm gonna leave duality because looking at duality made me want to see why. Because I'm nosy. Protection and attraction. Attraction comes in. Protection is like pause. So we'll see what that's about. I'm gonna take some crystal energy astro cards since we are talking about chakras, blocks, and all that jazz. That was nice. Like, trust the process. But then I probably wouldn't have known the narcissism thing, because I was like, this is my niche. People, they don't never agree with me. They're like, you must don't know what it really is. And I'd be like, I think so. The first card you have out is so cute, first of all, but it is Wolfenite, Sagittarius, Venus, and Mars. The journey has only just begun, sweetheart. It says you can travel through your past, present, and future, and it opens up communication with the spirit world. It also aids in past life recognition, helping you to see soul contracts that you've made in this lifetime. And see, I don't even feel this is about a person. I feel like it's within your contract that you may have had difficulties in the beginning, or in the middle of life, wherever you were. And now it's just a new phase and a new time for different things where you don't even have to make no huge change in your life, because that change isn't here. It just shows to keep, hope and faith, loving self, and to stay positive. So that's kind of dope. It's powerful though. It's most powerful for past life healing. So I think when I talked about limited beliefs, that's a big deal for you guys. And I'm just going to sit that there. And I think behind money. Okay. So we have wave light, 2 W's. Okay. 2 wins for you coming in, claim it. We have Aquarius moon here too. That could be significant. It talks about decision, flow, and the big picture. Now, see the forest for the trees, especially with wave light. Big picture thinking is enhanced with this crystal, allowing you to see beyond the details and gain a better grasp over the decisions that you must make. Combining intuition with logic, wave light helps you look at all sides of the situation in order to make the best informed decision possible. Clearing energy blockages in the body. So you came to the right reading. You saw that thumbnail, or you just saw the caption. Clearing energy blockages in the body. It helps to sustain and regulate circulation for a healthy body and deep soul level cleansing. Now, didn't I say at the beginning of the reading, whatever happened in Leo season? Because Leo, I think, is connected to circulation, if I'm not mistaken. But soul level clearing, use this crystal during the new moon to amplify its powers. We had a new moon recently, so check for the next one. There was one at the end of August, but there's one, every month now. Sound crazy. So make sure you, especially if it's Aquarius moon, doesn't have to be, but check into that. Anything else, Spirit, or we're going to get to y'all tarot cards. We have, objectivity, filter, and truth. Filtering vibrations is what the Amazonite does best. Your thoughts and environmental influences. So if you are prone to environmental sensitivity, Amazonite has your back. This is a great way to cleanse yourself from technology if you need a break. Do you need a break from them apps and stuff like that? I don't know. You came here, I just can flip the cards, be like, oh, I'm out of here. She's trying to tell me to log off. Not of this app while you're watching the video. I'm just talking about some other ones. Some of y'all could be meeting a person online. Because now we got Rose Oracles, child. Your heart's desires, child. It says love and divine and all signs. Okay, sun and moon. The energy of love vibrates on a soul level. That's dope. And release, change, and transition. So there's going to be some changes in your love life if you want that. it's here for you. And I think that it's beautiful because you got two beautiful cards to support it. So that is super, super dope. I want to, well, I touched them, so I'm grabbing them now. So I was like, I want to use these cards. And I was like, but I already touched them. So it's happening. I'm using our sacred geometry relationship cards. They're not just about relationships, it's sacred geometry and relationships. So just 3D stuff and spiritual stuff. And as I said, that the divine masculine card came up with the number 22. It supports our strong focus, allowing us to express it, express itself. It want to express itself while helping us bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So some of you got hope here with the divine masculine. You have integrity. So I think it's King of Cups energy. I feel like this is a very charming, charismatic person. For others of you, integrity points to justice. The justice card just talks about adjustments, and it's the same and opposite of duality, because duality has two, um, the scales have two, right? So the integrity just talks about maybe the substance going in and coming out and what's coming back. So it's important for you to put good within you, mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, for the good to come back out. So now we're talking about the law of attraction for you. And the number 25, if that's significant for you guys, we have a few transits that are happening. And the 22nd and the 25th of September could be significant. Let's see what else we have for my group. Okay. I like when they just like get into my hand, like magnets. We have expression and we have soul. Now, soul expression. I think I literally said that phrase reading the other card. Our connection to the past part of us. And then you have our ability to bring out our true essence. It seems like releasing those past issues allows you to be the flower that you are to be. And that brings out some essence that forms a different communication with the universe. So it's like, what's blocking me? Okay, I guess that's true. What's blocking me is you on a soul level, you can feel that you're not fully you because your soul knows and it wants to express itself. The 6th chakra, that is the third eye. So maybe you guys you came from the third eye chakra reading, or that's something for we to look at. Who taught me how to talk? There could be a disconnect or a need to look into the third eye chakra, because you literally came here and said, what's blocking me? And you got expression, soul, and the third eye. So maybe activating and connecting to spirit. A lot of you, I've never said that before because that sounds like some shit, say this, something weird to say to somebody, but it's true. And I don't mean any harm, but all of us spiritual people feel like we are connected, right, to source. We are, but there's legitimate ways to strengthen that connection. Is what I'll say. I ain't gonna say, because I was about to say, so it's legitimate, but see, then I'm gonna be like, you're the narcissist, right? No, nope. So that's what's blocking you. Your soul has a remembrance of source, spirit, your higher self, and it isn't activated, or it needs like your attention right now. So that's pretty cool because you're in control of that. What is going on with Capricorn? I'm gonna take some tarot clarifiers now, because curiosity is connected to the devil card, duality is connected to the devil card. Then you got the root chakra at the bottom of the deck with authenticity. So I want to know what this is about, because I'm nosy. I think for some, I think it's a person, because now the sacral chakra is here, and that's where the trauma, the emotional bondage, look, it just want it, right? And just like this might want it, right? That is something. Let's look into that. Spirit, can you please tell me more about duality and curiosity. Can you? She's like, sure. Okay. Thank you. Got the Taurus, bottom of the deck. I don't know if that matters yet. Okay. Someone's completely flipping the other side of the coin, meaning there's momentum building, there's confidence, there's a completion of a cycle, and a brand new you. So there's no deep, dark philosophical think about it like I thought. And so thank you. But it literally talks about different aspects of yourself, because in duality, there's two coins here. There's a gold and there's a silver. Okay. The world card is connected to the duality of completion, but also other cycles start. It's inevitable. Death is inevitable because it also is connected. So it's just talking about opposites. That's important for you guys. Something about opposites. Okay. I like that. So the online thing is still here with the world card. And some sort of momentum building or something gaining. If you started something online, that is gonna take a totally different look. Whether you got a project or something like that. And I'll be honest and say that there could be some whirlwind relationships that are started through, the distance between you guys, and it's about to change. Okay. How does it change? It's on you. If you're going through that and it's like that's very specific, I feel that see, look, right here, it came out with the Hierophant. Okay. It's like having the ability to understand both aspects of what's necessary. It could talk about Taurus and Capricorn, and maybe this momentum building is like some sort of abundance, and maybe it's a lot. And how you handle a lot could affect your magnetism, because if you think a lot is scary or taboo, like I can't have that much money, people with that much money, yada yada yada, those belief systems could be hindering abundance or coming out of a tough spot. So being a little bit more curious about this dimension and being active in it is something that could liberate you from a block. I think some of us here, because you got that strong past life energy, may have incarnated with spirits, ulterior motives. Jesus Christ, I ain't never heard that before. Really? Like you came here for a reason, but now ulterior motive mean that is something else going on? Like you changing your mind? I'm not. So let's see what that is about. Outdated beliefs moving away from, a change in direction and seeing through the veil, like no longer being a good little sheep or whatever. You're optimistic and loyal. Like I think in the past, you were maybe self-sacrificing, you had martyr energy, strong religious beliefs, and nothing is wrong with that. See what I'm saying? Like this devil advocate thing. And it's about seeing your reflection. You may see yourself in the near future, and it's different from who you thought you were or what you thought you were, or your soul is telling you like, hey, you shifting in something completely different from what we are. But at the same time, it's not bad, because your main energy here was coming out of darkness. Maybe you had some bad girl, bad boy energy when you came in, and now you walking into the light because you got coming out of a dark time. And I don't want to say permanent and be like gassing it up, but you have some transitions and some changes that aren't temporary. So your abundance lasts a little bit longer to create these you never seen before, kind of like unbelievable turnarounds or whatever. So yeah, it's not always the limited beliefs and free yourself. It could be. Some of y'all, it's like you probably was a high roller and a heavy hitter on some dark stuff back then, or just not the highest light, right? And this life you are, and because of that, you get to expand in abundance, in love, or whatever. And I think that is super cool. I'm nosy. Now, some of you, this is definitely a person, because I'm nosy. I said, what's the divine masculine? Not only do you have the emperor at the bottom of the deck, but you got the magician. I know I ain't crazy. Mm-hmm. Ooh, somebody trying to force something and fighting it, you know? And that's where self-love is important, because you want to be a team. You want to be a team player. You don't want to be alone. There could have been abandonment issues. And it's like maybe trying to force something that shouldn't be forced. I don't like that either, especially if he confusing you and you really like him, or she confusing you. They're the apple of your eye, but they're causing confusion on purpose. And that could hinder your that's causing blocks. You don't see yourself in the highest light. I don't want her all exposed like that, but that's the Page of Swords. And maybe they feel exposed. Somebody turn their back on somebody after I opened up to you. But it's not over yet, you know? And it also says you have a big decision to make. So some of you that don't fit that particular storyline, we'll just close with that. You are going to come into alignment with your true purpose. The Judgment card is about your calling. Okay, I got some writers, some fantasy stories. Y'all probably good at that. Vivid imagination, or just some love bugs. We also have like the Judgment card. It's like, it's not a reconciliation. It's just where a big decision is about to be made on what we about to do. So it's not necessarily over, this marriage or this situation or this contract, whatever the case. It's not over, like because the Death card is here, but it's a transformation and a huge change, and this determines if it moves forward. But you don't have to force it. And look, when I said that, yeah, it's like you don't have to force it. But if you want to get out there though. Like getting seen, being more social, getting a little buzz or whatever, because you got independence, you got pay increase, you got wish fulfillment, you got happiness, you have bliss, you have contentment, and you have the calm after the storm. So I know I can feel it. If anybody out there saying, wow, this is a mixed message, it may be extremely different people that chose that deck. And I'm just putting it out there, baby. But I'm able to dissect and separate, so I can hear and feel everything that's going on that I said. But for the collective of group 4, the calm after the storm, some financial increases, and just being content finally with how things are, because you've manifested them. It took a lot of power and strength. The only competition you'll have is yourself. That's how good you are. And I do hope that it helps. All right. Group 5, I believe. The beautiful citron. I call it the citrus. That was so funny. Lemon citrus. So it's like extra cleansing. Okay. Super beautiful. If you missed the introduction when we gave the interpretation of your crystal. And you have the super cool Roto Tarot. I love this deck. And the color just matched your vibe. Okay. This is how the back of them actually look. So they weren't actually like yellow cards. But they had the yellow center. So we would have won either way. And we're going to go ahead and get started with your reading. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. I will say intuitively, there's something about attraction and confidence, power, willpower, asserting ourselves. And I'm not surprised for this area. Okay. Now the reading is intentional for highlighting blocks or advice, just information for the month of September or a period whenever you see this video. And the Queen of Wands, as well as the Hierophant, are the main characters in this scenario. So it gives me personal power, willpower, as well as like power and authority. However, your first card out, because I did a shuffle and it did come out in reverse, but the Wheel of Fortune is a great thing with this citron crystal. I want to point that out, especially with the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. It's optimism, inspiration. It's taking the second step. So some of us, I can go down the rabbit hole with taking the second steps. repeating patterns is what the Wheel of Fortune gives us in the reverse. I call it looping. It's a thing that I say. I'd be like, yeah, I told my friend once, I was like, you're looping. Cause sometimes like in the movies where the people have deja vu or like the day keeps starting over, you know how like frustrated the one person who sees it can become. And it's like unbelievable and everybody else think they just crazy. So yeah, I'm just like, you're looping, and they never. I ain't gonna say they never get it in the movie. The movies vary. In my experience, it varies, and I don't know how you guys are gonna take it. I think that you're gonna be open and receptive to the advice, and I also know that abundance for those of you that are interested in relationships and marriage, entrepreneurship, or nonprofit organizations. All of this is going to give you some sort of clues you can use. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it shuffled up. And how you go about like getting what you want. If it's power and influence that you want, the Queen of Wands has like her little minions or whatever, and they support her regardless. It's an effortless charm, and it's so dope. I keep cinnamon around. I sprinkle some of my tea because who wouldn't want effortless charm of the Queen of Wands? I think it's attractive and adorable, and your counterpart would too. Okay, the Hierophant, I want to say that they got it easy because it's a hierarchy. You got politics, you got the wealthy, you got celebrities, and the Hierophant just gets in that arena of hierarchy because of God being supreme. So it's just like, I don't want to say untouchable, but even criminals in the movies sometimes give leeway or grace to the priest or whatever. It's just a respect factor. The Queen of Wands gets respect, the Hierophant gets respect, and there's something about repeated patterns and or things changing for the better without you really having a big influence on it. And I think that that's super dope, and I think that you're really lucky. So that's kind of cool because both of them have that effect. Let's see what we got with the Wheel of Fortune. We're also going to take oracle cards or whatever other divination tools I need to communicate your message. Okay, see? Now we got the Three of Wands. Stay in the center is what the Three of Wands usually tells us. The Two of Wands is coming out of that inspired idea. We started the video by, reinserting ourselves and taking the second step. After the second step, this is synchronicity. This is repeated patterns. That is crazy. This is also like advice and game on your next move. That is so crazy. But Spirit is saying, yeah, like double down on our repeated patterns. 1, 2, 3 could be like your angel number. So I'll make sure that I get some angel number cards pulled before we move forward or whatever. But yeah, the road less traveled, being inspired, getting your calling and going forward, and the people who are necessary in your life will appear because it's like destiny. Your destiny isn't the normal or the average. And I think that that's super cool. You don't even, some of you, it's like you may have questions or wonder what your purpose is, what your destiny is, or what way to go with something. If you have a habit or a history of like waiting on things or people that, or you just feel like your ships never fully come in, there could be a message for you on that. Just wanted to throw that out there. We also have establishing your strength that could benefit you, could hinder you. Oh, look at that. We have the High Priestess. And see, yeah, waiting on somebody that doesn't communicate, that's a repeated pattern. This probably wouldn't be the only person or relationship that happens with. And it's time to kind of just like stand up in your power, especially if you presume these people to be soulmates initially and they are actually like unrequited. It's like if we're being honest about it and like deep down inside. Others of you, it still gives that belief system and knowing that the answers are within you, or you're waiting for some sort of answer or guidance. I feel like for the collective, destiny is involved in the situation and timing is like out of your hand, but you're waiting on some sort of instruction or advice. If there are distant relationships, just be mindful of that. They could be resurfacing because Mercury's doing a thing, Venus is doing a thing, Uranus is doing a thing, Saturn. There's a few planets doing things for the month of September. So you could be coming into alignment with some, I don't want to say unrealistic, but just some people, places, circumstances, and situations that you didn't see coming. So I think that that's cool. Now, what was that? What was that? Because I just saw the Hangman, and something came to me last night about the Hangman. Hold on, because I was listening to a song, and the song reminded me of tarot, where it talked about victory. It was like dedication, hard work, sacrifice, plus patience. It was Nipsey. Okay, I'm sure you picked up on it by now. But it was associated with the Hangman representing, because I also thought about who was it? Thoth, I think, that took his eye out and hung on the tree upside down to get answers. It was like, I'm not playing. I'm willing to give something to get something because it's really big and you're gonna give it to me, but whatever it is that you want, that don't scare me type deal. So the soulmate situation, or the people that you come back into, the circumstances, the new opportunity, I think it's all in alignment with that Wheel of Fortune. Just that makes it some just really important random stuff. Okay. So it's like, yeah, I was just like, the Hangman just came up. We have the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we're infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother. Okay. So the number 28 may be significant. And there's also a connection. I knew it was a connection, but it's like, for some of us, it's connecting the dots. And for others of us, it's a connection with an individual. And so, fertility and delight. That's like the Empress, the Sun card, the heart chakra. I like that. There could be some. There could be if you repeat, like, okay, so if you're not married or if you're single and you have situationships or relationships where, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, so I could sum it up in a sentence. See, in the same, I shuffle these cards, and the same cards just check out. Marriage, like literally, possibly checking out the heart chakra to develop your magnetism. And why is it important to develop your magnetism? Because I feel that there's a repeated pattern of not fully asserting your will, and you are unaware of it, or you do it because of an embedded belief system. Something you think of yourself, something you think about one of the topics that I have stated, and it causes some sort of looping. So you're not blocked. It's a belief system and your magnetism calling in that belief system. So that's not for everyone, but Spirit said crystal clear. Thank you, Spirit. Because I'm like, what are we talking about right now? But I'm correct. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna let it cook. Yeah, because I'm trying to say it without like triggering or making it overly specific for people that said, no, I don't deal with that. But I guess I can't really pay y'all no attention if Spirit want that message to be heard about willpower and accepting things that you really don't want, but you do it anyway. And I don't know if that comes from not feeling whole. It reminds me of how like Tracy Ellis. If you ask me, and I respect the sister, don't send her this video. I get that she's like comfortable being single and not having kids, but it to me, it's like she's triggered by it and she like throws it out there before people can use it against her. So that's not healthy to me. So yeah, you happy, yeah, you single, okay, you don't have kids, and women don't have to have kids and women don't have to get married. I respect that. But why are you always triggered and you throw it out there with such animosity? You know what I mean? So your guys' situation, even if you're a dude in the audience, like, okay, it's still something about attraction, willpower, and looping. And I guess I'm using that example because not being married is like not being chosen, but you still have situations or intimate relationships. And then feeling like it's just destiny or fate and out of your hand, but truly it's something in the back of your mind that you either believe about the topic, like I said, or believe. Yeah, I can say that that's perfect. That's perfect in general because I'm trying to get it away from women relationships and being a mistress. um, or just that's what it is in general. Your belief system attracts something that you have misinterpreted as out of your hands, and it just keep a repeated pattern. And then others of you, when we came into the reading, it's like repeating patterns and not even knowing it. You know what I mean? And I think for you guys, that could be more so tied to relationships. Now, the connection that you have to your destiny and why you're here, because I got the hangman and we got Gaia, and connection is giving me. That's cool too, because 14 and 14 is 28. And I was like, why are these cards like sticking out to me? With the transparency. So the veil's thinning and like a pathway or a door opening for you in the near future. So something that we just discussed could need to be made aware of, or resolved or worked on before this opportunity comes. So keep that in mind. That's big when you're going through test cycles, moments of renewal like September. It may benefit us to approach the situation ready. And it's like, well, how do you do that? With awareness. And then with that awareness, taking a different approach, a different direction, a different step, not going either way, going forward, possibly. The chords and the connections. This is the hangman over here. And see, the hangman next to the high priestess is like very soul purposey spiritual energy. It's giving me like the fool is waiting on the whisper from the high priestess to get the direction on where to go. That's what I'm feeling about the hangman. It's like, what connection does the hangman have to the fool? And then that takes me back to how we started with the Hierophant. And the guy poking his eye out to get this thing that he wanted. Like and then that ties back to the people who make these crazy sacrifices in relationships where it's like, I will give you my right leg. And it's like, if you had that Queen of Wands attraction and charm and the little minions and all that kind of stuff and the personal power and the confidence, you probably would not cut your leg off to get something. You could attract it. Look what I said, and you could attract it. So I think your magnetism and attraction could be influenced by your feeling of security and being transparent about it in connections. That's a big thing. Being transparent about your vulnerabilities and a need for security. There's being honest about it. That's interesting. You can't move forward if you're not honest. I'll say that. Because there's a need to feel secure, like in life. Authority. Okay. Duality. And see, there's the moon. The moon came out with the Hierophant. It gracefully flow with the everlasting movement among opposites. Got that. Give me a second, guys. True authority is powerful and directed. But this is not really knowing what something is, how it is, or how to get it. And then this is a reflection. So this is attracting things through your belief system, because there's like shadow work needed. There's also like issues in we had the root chakra come up, and I think the sacral chakra. Those are two areas of taboo relationships, connections. I know that a lot of they're not even holistic. There's a lot of groups and cultures that are like religious based. When they do energy work, they don't even work on the lower chakras. But it's like this is saying that the lower chakras do have a connection to the higher chakras. Um, so that's something else. Spirits like you can leave that alone, but they do. I read, like, was it the Buddhists? It's a group of people that they just don't encourage like working on the bottom ones. There's a need to be grounded. It talks about freedom. So it's giving me why the hangman came up and the world card came up. Where we're waiting. You are the heaven on earth. That's been coming up. Bring them to you. Let them wander. Take a different approach. Do some mirror work and work on your feeling of security. Because, and I noticed I do that. I don't like that, but it's like, well, what else would I say, and who else would I be talking to if I didn't sit here saying you? I just feel like I don't want nobody to feel attacked. Because it's like you, and you, but I that's what I get, and I'm glad that it's taking me like walking it in circles, because it would seem less I don't know, it would come off less genuine if I just blurted it out and said, yeah, this the issue, that's all you got to do. It's like, okay, easy for you to say, or imagine helping someone and making them aware of something and just like laying it on them thick. It's like, just, it's like, okay, you can you can say that differently. So yeah, what I'm feeling from it, and the cards are supporting my feelings. It's just, it may not be any of these very specific scenarios, but in general, is what I just said. For more transparent connections to be chosen, in whatever, your authoritative power, your willpower, your attraction, how you see yourself in this life, how you see life, what you think you deserve, how it's all connected, where you fit in, in the connection, your worth here on this planet, in that business, whatever the case, why you came here, all of that is like still tied into a self-belief, a subconscious thought. And that's interesting, because now that if we say it that way, it gives like past life energy, because I don't see any parents other than a mother that came up, or like parental, you know what I mean? I don't see any like early childhood development influencers, unless it was religious beliefs or a pastor in your life. I don't know. But these this way of being, nothing is telling me how it got there. And so I'm just presuming that you incarnated with it, unless intuitively, and feel that it's something, where it came from. You know exactly why. Or you can sit and think with it. Because I've seen Monique is really good with putting toxic Gen X business out in movies, in air comedy. But it's like growing up with, a sister, a mother, a grandmother, aunts that behave certain ways around men or in relationships. And then you get that perspective about, well, that's just how it is, or that's what they do, or you know what I'm trying to say without saying it. Okay. I know y'all get it. It's kind of just like seeing something and considering that's how it should be, and then it becoming your thing, but it's not true. and then you are attracting that. So you really, now you believe, you walking in alignment with life because your thoughts about something are appearing to you, but they're only appearing to you because that's how you see them, type deal. So these are very toxic examples, but I'm trying to just like get the thoughts and the feels out about what is pre-existing expectations or something like that. Honesty is necessary, especially when honesty and it still got something to do with relationships or passion. You're passionate about something. So let's go get us some news we can use. I'm going to pull some additional cards to see what we're talking about. Well, I mean, it's like we're talking about what we're talking about. Let's go under the Wheel of Fortunes, see what Spirit got for us. Assimilation, breakdown, gut feelings, desire, satisfaction, powerhouse, and fulfilling. That is the solar plexus, like that gut feeling, your powerhouse, your desire. So definitely being honest about that. But I wouldn't want to just be stuck in desire with all the spiritual energy. Desire is just why those gurus say they don't fool with those lower chakras, because they associated it with the word that they created for it, which was the devil. Like it was not an entity. It just signified human desire. And look, this little red, I don't know, I wouldn't want to disrespect some who is, and I should know, right? This figure represents, I'm pretty sure, a deity or a person or something like that. But this little red figure being on top is why the root chakra is here, possibly. That's interesting, because then I see the blue one in connection. But anyways, my point is, looking at desire, and then me telling y'all about how certain cultures feel about the lower chakras. I'm trying to put that into practical words, because Spirit said it's not about that situation, but I think that situation has something to do with what I feel intuitively. So I'm going to get that together. However, when I ask about the Wheel of Fortune, or to clarify it, it just talked about breaking something down. And that's exactly how I feel about connecting the dots. And then you guys pick and choose the messages. If they resonate, don't force it, but your gut should let you know. The World card came out, so fulfilling something that is fulfilling could be significant in the situation. Processing, absorbing, and see, I figured that's what I was looking for. When you absorb things in your environment and your surroundings, and they just embedded in you, but no one really taught you that, and you didn't look at those things and pick up that, they were kind of become your beliefs. You just absorb them, right? That makes sense. I like that one. Now, being a leader, being in charge, rising above, intellect, attitude, personality. Now, for others of us, it's the opposite. If you have strong, kind of like binding beliefs, it's about you stimulating your willpower. You know what I'm saying? To get that satisfaction and go after your desires. Like, so the solar plexus, I like that, could help with either region. Clearing out the heart energy helps to relieve us from all of that past life stuff. People be talking about, oh, it's this past life contract. All your gifts and superpowers is locked away in the back of your heart. You got to activate your heart. Your vortex is in your heart. Everything you need is in your heart. And it's right there by the solar plexus. Same time, so are the sacral and the root chakra, which, because I've laid it on thick about the toxic part, right? The course and connections, our stability versus instability financially, or even how our intimate relationships go. Okay. But the good news is these are also important. Okay. So the guru is going to be rolling over in their graves because I'm saying this, but clearly, based on the cards, these things are important for attracting fire, passion, creativity, and someone would have to be in authority of what they truly want, and they would have to transparently communicate effectively with themselves to make a connection to the universe or the law of attraction to have what they truly want reflect back to them. Because if you don't do that, what do you think is going to reflect back to you? Your fears, these lies you're telling, what you're settling for, and that comes with people not being nice, your goals, wishes, deadlines, and things that you want to do really they don't give what they're supposed to give. Okay. Not being the sparkle of somebody's eye in a relationship because of how you feel about relationships or yourself or trust. You see what I'm saying? Like it reflects back what you think. And if there's low energy here, you get low energy back. And that could be a series of low vibrational things. And I don't like that. I mean, not for you. That's not what I don't want that for you. All right. So direction. We started the reading. We did talk about taking the steps because I was like step 1, step 2, then step 3 came out. So instincts, direction. It talks about knowing. This is knowing. And it also talked about character. And in character, some of us have that split energy of the shadow and the light. And that's okay. Because you have a central pillar of trust, integrity, who you are, or if you ever get confused and lost, it's being reflected back to you in who approaches you and who don't, or what you feel life gives you and what it doesn't. Okay. So that helped. That did help. Didn't I say something about gateway earlier? I did. I don't remember what I was talking about. I forgot. So now y'all got to watch our video over. That's for said that they don't. Responsibility, support, security issues. Oh, tension, feeling weighed down because of secrets. Here go the secrets. There goes the security issues. If you're having any issues in your back, and I'm not a medical professional, I will set that example expectation. I am a metaphysical scientist. Okay, that's why I say Dr. MB. But the cards are pointing to providing you some sort of, she talking to you type deal. If you have any issues in those areas or just feel tight, weighed down and have a lot of tension. If you have issues around the area of support, that's in alignment with me explaining this Queen of Wands and how her process is a lot less effortless. Taking responsibility for things, just taking control over your life. Because I started the reading also saying, when I be telling my friends, you looping, they don't take no responsibility. They be looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like, you always trying to make something fit, like I, what do you call that? When people just, geez Louise, it's like they make something fit. Is that it? No, I think it's a saying. I'm not gonna waste time, but it's like I put it to make it fit like that, and it's like that's not what I'm doing. And so to me, that's them not taking responsibility. But I'm patient, and I don't judge them because it's like I respect that there are some things that we can't see, or if spirit gives me the gift of discernment, that is a blessing, and I should not be like some arrogant, irritated little know-it-all, wondering why other people can't see it too. So I'm patient about it. But yeah, it's like you looping, and it's like you making that fit that scenario, and I'm like, no, I'm not. This is what you're doing. But they don't see it that way. They see it as that's just how life happened. Things happen. Because, I'm not going to put their business out there, but it's like you did one thing in 2002. You did it again in like 2007. You did it again in like 2011. You did it again in like 2015. Or every relationship you starts a certain way. You know what I mean? Every time something happens in your life, for whatever it is, you respond the same way to the same thing. Or you use it, write it down. That's what I'm going to tell everybody for group 5. Because this looping thing, if you connect with that, or you interested in that to see if, am I doing that? Get a journal and just start writing every day. Your thoughts, if you change your hair, your interests. I'm really into exercise and I'm really into hip hop. Oh, I'm into learning a new language. Oh, I want a passport. Oh, I want to get married. Oh, I don't want to get married. Whatever. And then notice how you change your hair every August. If you do color swaps, my divas out there, it's like, oh, I like my hair lighter. And you notice your hair is darker every the same time, every year or every couple of years. It's weird. I can't keep giving like random examples because I don't want everybody to say, well, no, that's not me. I don't change much. But just try it. Just if we start writing and then you look back at the journal, it could trip you out how, like, you ask yourself, how the hell was I having car trouble the same time every year? Or my battery go dead, or just these same little things happen at the same time. And some people could say, well, that's not looping. Those could be transits, where transits are connected to the wheel of fortune. And I ain't have that issue when you was having that issue, and I'm on this planet with you. So it is kind of personalized. It's not just, you know what I mean? So that was kind of, I like that. This is kind of interesting, Group 5. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I hope that it helped. All right, Group 6, as we get started, thank all of you guys for tuning in. Definitely appreciate you being here with us today. And it is my pleasure and honor to deliver these messages for you. Intuitively, I think that it is very important for you to just like grab hold of and honor your independence. I also got a sense that sometimes not having a grip on that independence causes us to stay in situations for the wrong reasons. You have the beautiful golden healer. Your energy is beautiful. You may even have the capacity to heal, and you know how they say sometimes healer attract people that need healing. Well, it is my what do I want to call it? It's professional advice, but also if I was like your cousin, I would say start a business then, or a nonprofit. I probably wouldn't recommend that being the pillar of strength in my relationships. Oh, I'm a healer, so I just attract people who need to be healed. And this is a very sensitive area, actually, Group 6 that you've chosen. And that's how you get strings and chords and connections. And I don't think my healer would be in its highest good doing the Lord's work with all them strings attached like that, like a puppet. So your deck is the beautiful golden. It's the traditional tarot. They call it the gold foil tarot. I used to use them in my finance readings, but because it was just like gold, like prosperity. I won't say finance. So there could be some prosperity. Okay, we're healing codependency. It's kind of like, and this sound like it could come from like an old school, teaching or things we could have seen early on in life where, 2 is better than 1 when it comes to certain situations. So let's see what Spirit has. Okay, because I was like, if I was your cousin, or one of your homegirls, I would say that get, start a nonprofit or a business. I wouldn't do that. So the first card out, we have a lot of movement. I want y'all to see that. It's going to be a lot of movement, or maybe movement is needed because a lot of people do exercise that stuck tension, emotional, pressure in the sacral chakra with, hip rolls, Pilates, bending, stretching, all that kind of stuff, because you got movement. You have messages and declarations, So I'm going to see how that ties into a normal conversation. But before I mix it up and mess it up, I can just tell you that there could be a lot of communication, a lot of movement quickly. I ain't going to say it's not well thought out, but there's an energy of, you know, it not being the investigate and research first, or insecurities could have something to do with it. Whereas moving forward with what we really want, and maybe even something about our thoughts. Okay. I feel like your group is giving to do what it is that you want, because I think you could be doing things for a reason outside of you truly loving it. That's how we go about relationships. And wherever it trickles down into your life. But having the confidence to do something, even if you feel intimidated, to be brave and follow your heart is very important. And make a declaration. Like, don't be shy about it. Don't hold back. Don't sit back. Some of you could have, it's like, that's not blocking you, but it's something that's coming toward you unless you're the person that has the crush, that's sitting back and not saying anything or admiring something from afar. Even you really like it, but you admire it from afar because you don't want to be impulsive. I got friends like that. They make the craziest choices and decisions and they know it. But when it comes to something that they need or that they really want, they'll overthink it or rethink it 100 times because they don't want to be impulsive. And I'll sit there looking at them like, your whole life is impulsive. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Let's see what else we have. Holding on. And see, that's an area we don't want to hold on in this area. I feel that if something is blocking you, it's a sense of, trying to do a grab all, like you running out of time. You collecting stuff, right? And you're not running out of time. It's also talking about being reserved. And I'm trying to feel how being reserved and insecure in an area, how that comes off in a real life scenario. I'm reserved, holding back, but it's holding back out of fear a little bit. It's holding back out of fear. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. Let me get one more. If these are relationships, because not, for everyone it's not relationships, but this area does hold stuff in there. If these are relationships, holding on and watching, looking into, questioning, and being insecure because of our own personal worth or how much we think something else is worth, and we holding on to it because it's like, I don't want nobody else to have it or them, but it's not something I don't really love it, like, but I'm just holding on to it for a sense of security. That could be a job, that could be a career, that could be an idea about ourselves, and it could literally be relationships. Like, you don't want to be in a relationship, but it's the wrong reason, and for some of you, it could even be co-parenting. I ain't gonna hold you, or because you're married to them. And it's like, who do I think I am saying that about people's personal lives? Jeez, that wasn't me. It just like fell out. My bad. Don't beat me up. Oh, hold on, guys. Okay, that's kind of cool. It may also be something about how it starts off, and why we continue. I was still right. I just wanted to make sure because I was trying to sit there and get the vibe. I was like, what do we have here? Okay. So yeah, let's get some clarifiers and some additional information. These are, ooh, look at that. That's very beautiful. As is this one. Let's see what we're talking about first. We have Libra, Venus, acceptance, compassion, and release. All right. The ultimate love attractor is Morganite. It opens channels. See, I knew it was. I don't like putting relationships on everybody. Because you don't even have to be in this relationship right now. It's just something that's really down in that sacral chakra. But we have Morganite opens channels for positivity, affection, and devotion to flow effortlessly through your energetic field. It's able to uncover deep emotional pain, bringing awareness to unexpressed feelings residing inside your body so that you can release them. We're holding on to something. And clearing away thoughts of martyrdom or identity, clearing away thoughts of victimhood. It expands your ability to love and receive love, advancing your soul to the core of your inner truth. I picked up on that, but I was just like, I don't want to be. But that's the relationship energy, and it could even be father wounds. Because I was talking about like being in relationships because we got connections or whatever. But this is like old school and dark. But how they talk about, and I ain't gonna just single out women, because men can have father wounds as well that cause some sort of overly false alpha energy and needing to prove things and ego tripping, but it's really an insecurity or not feeling like enough because you had like a parent or somebody who, I don't know, was competing with you. I've seen that happen before. I see it in other cultures with men, but I've seen it in American cultures with moms. So nobody's off, anybody can do it. But yeah, having insecurities because of that and kind of like holding on, I don't know, to not be wrong, to not fail. It's like you don't want to do it, but you don't want to lose either. That's interesting. We have Spirit says it's not interesting. I mean, we have Sagittarius and Saturn here. Self-discipline and command. Okay. I did see some commander energy, some leadership type energy. Getting out of loneliness and self-doubt may be significant. Having a greater confidence for your decision making. And Spirit was saying like, no. It fell out, so I wanted to see it. But it is not like the gist or supportive to the collective message. That could have been for somebody though. Like one particular person. So we'll shuffle. Okay. Start ringing in my ear like I heard you the first time. I just wanted to see what the card said. Jeez. Under such scrutiny. Let's get another one for this beautiful rhododite or whatever. But that's good stuff. I mean, it's clear. I appreciate the message being clear. Okay. Is it the same? Okay. Ooh, selenite. Cleansing. See, we hold it. Okay, so why am I blocked? We need to clean up. This is physical or look, it's just like now you about to go off and piss somebody off and you be swearing you don't want to piss somebody off and you be trying to like tiptoe around things and you still end up doing this shit. But cleaning it out is some things that can be done energetically that's necessary, as well as this, fresh air, new us energy where literally clean up, go clean up for real, like clean all that stuff out. Your purse, your car, your glove box, the medicine cabinet, makeup cabinet, like just clear the air. This is Taurus moon energy, and it illuminates your spiritual truth and greater purpose. I think if we focused on that, we would get out of the traumas, the relationships, and the victimhoods, or like overthinking over and over and over about how things played out, and what they did to us or whatever, because none of that is in your purpose. And see, the purpose gives you reason. Reason is inspiring. Inspiration is a good chemical. Good chemicals produce positivity in your body. But when you don't have inspiration or reason, you live in the past. You're not in the present, and you rethinking about past stuff over and over and over and over that produces piss poor chemicals. And those piss poor chemicals not only cause blocks, but dis-ease, and feeling stuck or repeating ourselves or just not being happy or unfulfilled or bored or, some of us, especially with this four of coins, like we ain't even aware of. You listen to me right now, just waiting for me to make some sense and get to whatever your problem is. Because you just grab onto things and hold things and harness things. And I'm trying to articulate it the way I'm feeling it and seeing it, but it's just a person that's, I don't want to say on the run, but you hold it, clinging on to everything because you don't want to not have nothing. I don't know who took something away from you, but ain't nobody taking nothing, and I just got stuff. And we not stopping to listen, or really see what's going on. It's just like on the go. There's not a lot of self-awareness. And it's just like holding on to stuff, holding on to physical stuff in real life. Held, just all of it's in there. I just don't even want to keep going in like that, but that's crazy. Yeah. So align your chakras, raise your awareness to higher dimensions. Opening communication to your spiritual team is important. Bringing clarity of the mind slices through any negative or confusing energy, and cleansing your energy field and protecting your aura. Okay. Talismans. If you have any pictures, jewelry, gifts, things that belong to others, energetically, it is not favorable for you, especially if it's some negativity behind it. Others of you, if you have amulets or protective things, heirlooms, things that may have been passed down to you, it's a good time to put them in your pocket, like a little mojo shandako. Oh, look, that's why I was going off. It also says selenite brings awareness to our subconscious patterns. Yeah, because that's what I felt. Like it's someone or spirit just wants me to share this with the collective as something to think about. Yeah, it's like you don't even see what you're doing. And I guess the only reason why I'm saying it like this is because this person doesn't feel approachable. It's like if I were trying to help them or sit them down and show them, they would, I ain't gonna say give me a hard time, but they wouldn't even care. You know what I mean? It's kind of like somebody asking, "Ooh, what's holding me back?" And then you tell them, and they don't want to hear that or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just it ain't bad, but I don't have time for them kind of folks. I don't play with them kind of folks. So I tell the higher ups, I be like, that's the Lord's work, or source can come back and deal with them kind. I help people who spirit send to me, or I just receive the knowledge and then disperse it publicly. But sitting there trying to pull somebody's hand or show them something, I am not the ghost of Christmas, because some people don't listen. They always hear it. You know what I'm saying? I got time for confrontation. I like to party and have fun and stuff. So you got also past life soul contracts. So if you're like, what's got me? That's an area where past life and soul issues, that's a no-brainer, but I don't like to say nothing spirit ain't said say. But here it is. And then it's funny that for some of you, it's that energy that probably has cost us to continuously reincarnate, because we chasing somebody or something or won't let go. We won't detach. Oh, because especially in alchemy, that's important. Like for ascension, it's part of the process to detach. But if we have a habit or a history of holding on to everything, especially relationships, we don't detach, and you reincarnate with, you know what I mean? If you had blocks, you never unblocked them, and then imagine being born again. So you born clean slate, right? Nope. Those 2 blocks you had, then you live through this lifetime with the same behavioral pattern. And here go 2 more blocks, and then you reincarnate. You see what I'm saying? It's like block, block, blah, blah, blah. So somebody's saying, hey, detach, clear it out, clean it up, let it go. You thinking to let go of something that happened to you 2 years ago or when you was 5, and it's scenarios from decades and eons ago because it's a behavior. It's not just this lifetime. It's how you handle things. Or let me say we, because that sounds crazy. I don't want to be like that. How we handle things, very egotistical, very know-it-all. You can't tell them nothing because they smart. They have the capacity to know a lot of things, but sometimes if we, it's just, I can't explain it to y'all how I feel. It's like it's all of those words, but I don't know. It sounds so derogatory to be saying know it all and ego tripping and stubborn. But damn, y'all asked for it. Y'all was like, what's blocking me? So don't beat me up. I just want to say love and light and prosperity and marriage and babies and beach houses. But I knew it would come up in this reading, some things that, I don't want to get beat up for it. But I said it. And those are some things. See, Spirit threw me an alley-oop. Something pretty for me. Okay, cool. We have aura healing, magic, and universal light. We have all signs, and we have Mars. It's fused with titanium. The metal of power, rainbow aura quartz, is amplified with enhanced healing properties. This, oh my God, seriously? Child. Hold on, wait. Oh my God. I have one, and look, because I remember how I got this, okay, when I got this, I asked Spirit in my mind, was that an applicable scenario? Jeez, and I was so right. I'm glad I be lifting up, because child, I would go in. The doubling back real quick on stand for the wrong reasons. And then healers attract people that need to be healed, but honestly, it's an insecurity or a codependency somewhere. I'm gonna let that go. But I just wanted y'all to know that's the message from Spirit. So don't act like that ain't for you. Because it's a big thing, and if you keep attracting relationships like that, where you want to be gone, but you feel like, well, you find other reasons for why you might need that job or that person. It's just going to kick your butt every time. And then you'll notice when you finally leave that person, that job, or that behavior, you were better off, but you were scared at first. So yeah, that's crazy. That's funny. So that is hilarious. Rainbow aura quartz is, and then here's another one, so we can have some better scenarios, because this is actually one of my favorite crystals, and nothing can get it dirty, nothing. And I bet you're saying, what kind of statement is that to make? I have a lot of crystals. I've had them for a long time. I'm also goofy. I be Googling ways to clean them, sometimes ruining them. Other times the cleaning works, and most of the times it don't do nothing. Either way, there's nothing that I could do to imperfect this crystal. And I thought that was amazing, that it is very clear and it stays clean through all of my jargon. I'm just a silly person. So in that sense, I feel like the cleansing of what's being held on to says that if I have triggered you during this reading, I probably haven't, but those people that got that little know-it-all attitude, like you here and you know everything I'm saying, you already know it, but you ain't doing nothing. So that's what Spirit be like, that it's a nasty little attitude, to me. I'm not judging, but I'm like, What kind of person is I don't know. This is about my business. But it's like you got all the answers. You know that you're doing it. And then you still came to watch this video. Okay. I respect it. I respect that. The good news is, so let me regain our friendship back. Cleansing that energy. The things that we've held on so near and dear to, and the behaviors that we've held on to, you'll be back to new. So that's the beauty of it. You're not ruined. They didn't do nothing that is going to hinder your position in the other dimensions of this life. And you are a very high vibrational being, a very healing individual. You got good energy. So I guess all of these other behaviors were just learned, or, your shadow side. And I don't like them because what if I'm a know-it-all that do shit like that? I don't, but anywho, so you said I don't. Good. But yeah, so I like that. Others of you could have wonderful companions. And through those relationships, do things together, like, going on retreats. It talks about having out of body experiences, astral projection. So being with people, see what I'm saying, that's into all the little goofy, quirky stuff that you like, or somebody that just feeds your experience. That don't say that. What's wrong with everybody like goofy stuff? Anyway, we finna get into it. Living your life in color. Okay, that's what this says. So we need to cleanse from holding on to whatever we're holding on to. And I feel like you get into alignment with stuff that's better. People that are better, right? Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see what else we got. Let's get a clarifier for anger, irritation, codependency, children, nostalgia, past relationships, deception, feeling defeated, fear of failure, hopelessness. Like it's inevitable to happen. Arguments, self-sabotage, and anxiety. Oh, that sounds like the little toxic person that I'm thinking about. I mean, that I feel, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna stop. So it's like, cut it off. I didn't do anything. But on the bright side, here we have new opportunities. So you don't need that relationship. You don't need them. Two ain't better than one. You can manifest whatever it is that you want. We have a new venture coming up for you. Let's see. And I think the King of Wands will love a new venture. But it's like we got to stop holding on to the old thing, to the comfortable thing out of insecurity. Now, Jesus, it just keep coming back. I'm trying to change the subject, get it to high vibration. And here we have being timid, fading, or finding help. Okay. So patience. Okay, that's what I take from that. It's something coming from the other side. Okay. Or in that argument, it just talked about losing sleep, contact, conflicts, self-sabotage, and anxiety. Okay, Spirit's like, don't run from it. Don't run. Okay, fine. So there's some self-sabotage due to anxiety from a very egotistical person. That's what's blocking you. You are very bold, and I want to say it's like alpha energy. I don't know. I think I've said enough. I think you got it. I think it's like, self-sabotage. I get anxiety. See, that's kind of different, but it's still the same. Some of us are codependent and hold on to things we don't let go of. But then does that trigger the anxiety that leads to self-sabotage? And it's just like, oh, but now you're the victim. Child, this, I should have known this area was going to be a mess. I didn't even think about that. You could have also dealt with people like this, which I hope so, because you sit in the audience like, yeah, get their ass, and it ain't you. Because if it's you, I'm like, Jesus Christ, can we get through this? Planning and taking the first steps is what's important. Spirit said, I got your back when you decide to stop procrastinating. And it would be wise for you to withdraw, especially if something in your situation is unrealistic. You doggone well, this where it said you can't manifest nothing new for this person or out of this situation. Like, I'm manifesting, but you ain't taking the steps. That's a lie, that we're telling ourselves. Now, revitalizing your energy, go on an adventure, feeling generous, having courage, and departure, literally, from that mess could be helpful. It brings in new love for some of you guys, or just harmony and balance into your life. Marriage for some of you, look at that. See? But I feel like in the shadow energy, is it shadow energy? Causing our own problems in the areas of love because of holding on to old stuff and self-sabotaging. Okay, but Spirit says be open and prepare for expansion. Prepare for expansion. No longer controlling your thoughts. And if you have any doubts, know that you have freedom to choose, that you can create self and boundaries, but a new perspective may be needed in a situation. Okay, so let's see what we got over here. I'm going to take 2 more of these. Detail. Okay, continue trying to make yourself perfect for somebody. Ooh, also having high standards. However that works out. We have the 5 of Cups. Oh no, with the Tower and the Ace of Cups. Grief, loss, self-pity, despair, disappointment, fear of risk. See, I don't want to take no risk. But there's self-love is necessary because of there's a reality check. Yeah, I know it. I know that that I agree with, and it's like we have to even for this energy that I'm feeling, I don't wish negativity, and I want all humans to be happy. And Spirit know that that's like a genuine. If whoever you believe in, Source, Spirit came and say, because I'm one of the angels or whatever, and if we had a meeting and we're asked, what's our request? If not my first one, the top 3 is just for like pain and suffering and mental anguish or just not being happy, right? I think that's like the suckiest thing next to pain, physical pain for humans. So I don't want nobody to be sad. But this person, it's like I can't coddle you or them, like a victim, because it's a silly little energy in the first place where all of this shit was collected. So it's like ain't nobody finna sit and coddle you, of all people. Others of you, right, doing the work, getting some sort of spiritual inheritance for taking leadership and authority in your life. You get sentimental gifts, okay? And I feel like a win. I love that for you. Here's the Ace of Pentacles. And it's like, see the opposite side of that Ace of Pentacles, because you got 2. This one says power, prosperity, manifestation, and new venture. The time is right to take action on your ideas. And see, when I said taking authority, taking leadership over here, there you go. It all makes sense. I think this is another person, though. This person was selfish and immature and rude and critical. Cool. So I ain't lost no followers or no friends. Kind of cocky and they're a hater. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like a know-it-all. I'm glad it ain't you. I feel better now because I was like, I don't want to go in, but I'm not about to be nice to you. So breaking up or dismantling a belief of some sort, don't listen to what they be talking about. If y'all been arguing, and you whatever this is, To clear a block, it's like some nasty people, a past partner, a father, a co-parent. No to them, and yes to a win. You don't have to rely on them. You don't need nobody. Don't hold on to it because it could hurt you. It could hurt your chakras. It could hurt your chemicals in your body. Okay. So I do hope that helped. Took this off. I was getting your cards picked up and they fell in my hand. Like I was it was like this, and I picked them up and these couple of cards jumped into my hand. So I was like, I'm going to start that reading just like this. So in case you skipped the intro, which I strongly suggest you stop doing, here's your crystal. It's so beautiful. And like I said, it's definitely, I've fallen in love with Jasper. I didn't know much about Jasper, and I ain't gonna blame it on Texas, but I just had my favorites. Whatever was, the commercialized crystals or the ones that you walk into the shop and they were just pretty. But just traveling and being in nature and seeing like the different stuff that's available with all the different regions, I just fell in love with Jasper. Spirit said, hurry up. Okay, bye. You guys chose the Sacred Symbol Oracle Group 7 or that crystal, which is dope. Jesus Christ. They also connect to, in my mind, the root chakra, because I did it color coded, but I didn't say that in the introduction. But I figure everybody got that. Or your soul just guided you toward one. Now, to get to your cards, right? Because you're sitting there like, what is all that? It's a lot of good stuff. And I confirmed with Spirit. I was like, oh, so you're going to help them like you helped me. Cool. I know exactly what this is. First, you have soulmate that looks like the little tetrahedron, and you got 2 hearts. We're going to talk about the issue in a minute, but your reading starts out with the result, the bright side, what's about to happen, what needs to happen to get this, what is happening, what has happened. However, wherever you are on this, I can tell you the backstory, which is probably where you are and what you're curious about. So we'll get there. But you got soulmate. 49 reduces down to 11. So just imagine 11 and soulmate. Okay. You have guides. I'm taking that. And it looks like Aquarian energy. It's an additional one. Aquarian symbol is usually 2 waves. You got 3 waves. And I think that's dope. You also have good fortune. And then you have air. So I was like, oh, when we talk about the root chakra and when the guides swoop in to create this divine intervention, your life changes in magical ways. You become the person you thought you were. You have grand strides that don't make sense. You end up being something that you only dreamed of, but were always destined to be. It means that you've always been watched over. And then for whatever your process is, because I still be at, I'm a human too, partially. So you'll still have those questions like, what took you so long? Or, you'll have your own reservations about it. But it's a energy that transforms, transmutes, and changes things. And having good fortune in an area like the root chakra increases finances, stability. It removes you from all that confrontation you hear about during certain transits, which are coming up in September, where there's power struggles, issues with authority figures, people that could have struggled with, residency or stability throughout life, keeping a job, relocating a lot, should have started early childhood development. Those are like negative energies in the root chakra that are the opposite of good fortune and being guided and protected and having like true love and all that kind of stuff. So I really love that for you. If you don't feel like you're there now, like if you don't feel like you have good fortune and if you haven't found your soulmate, the root chakra is an area that your guides are swooping in to help with. And I know that is not 100% your responsibility. Or I mean, it is, but you aren't in the driver's seat with this, because the guides card came out. If not first, it was right behind soulmate. So I was like, oh, okay, the guides got it. And then you have air for, I don't know if they aliens, multi-dimensional beings, or, angels and archangels, but I do know the tetrahedron and the heart is connected to like a light body activation, which says that it's not just your guides and the light body activation that gives you this good fortune. It was your destiny. Some people activate all kind of aspects of themselves. It don't mean they're guaranteed nothing. We're all on different paths. So I can activate my light body and it does this. I do that. You do yours and do this and that. So I do want to congratulate you that it is your energy, that at its highest good is fortunate. I don't want to take that away from you. So I think that that's so cool. There will be good fortune in your love life. And I feel like it's luck. I feel like the luck comes from divine intervention. So I feel comfortable saying that if it'll fall out of the sky, it'll come out of nowhere. And that gives me, I'm going to presume that it's not like that for you right now. Because if it were, Spirit wouldn't want me to emphasize on the fact that you aren't going to do it yourself. You're not by yourself. So, and I think that's important, because sometimes the people who deserve it the most, when they hear stuff like this, and it's not where you are, it's either you're an optimist who needs this type of conversation every day, so make sure you subscribe, or cynical, because, good and well, like, it just ain't happening for me, and this just a bunch of fluff, or they just saying stuff that's positive, right? I don't do that. I can't, even if I tried, I couldn't, because I think I've tried. It just don't happen. And I even check myself to make sure that the truth and honesty that I share is, tactful, because it is just, I just let it fall out. Whatever Spirit say, I'm going to say it. And when I hear it back, I be like, damn. So I just wanted to throw that out there so that you can take this and receive it and believe it and claim it, because it is yours. And I share it with you. So we like soul tribes or whatever, because I know exactly what it's like and how it feels. And it's transformative. It transmutes. And I feel like you're transmuting emotions and thoughts. I feel like your guides could be connected to air and water. I also feel like the luck that you have doesn't just come in another dimension spiritually, that your luck comes in the physical realm. I feel like it's money, because I'm thinking about the dollar sign. You know how the trapezoid on the dollar, how they separate the top from the bottom. So y'all may get some money on. I did say that, did I? The number 28 comes up again. I think 3 groups got 28 in different decks for different reasons. So that's cool. What did I want to say about the trapezoid? Yeah, you're not disconnected. And if you are, you collaborate and connect with Spirit. What is that? I got an alert. So that's good news. Yeah, it's, on the dollar is separated, and it's like, in God we trust, like God is somewhere else above in the eye. Oh, look, the eye. So Source is speaking to you. So I saw that coming. This is about a connection to your guides, your soulmate. And I don't want to get beat up, but I do be telling people that my interpretation, and it's still subjective, when it comes to like soulmates, twin flames, I do feel that there are special people, and I'm even open to the idea of one special person. But I also want people to include, instead of making it one of those two, make it a trifecta. I have a different perspective for you to add. Your soulmate and a twin flame is like a non-physical companion to you. That could be the light body, the higher self, or God. The Holy Spirit is what I call it, because it's so loving and it don't argue with you, and it's always on your side, and it's just a long story. So I'll just from all that I've read. It could be a series of things, but I'd be like, it's the Holy Spirit itself type deal. She's like, no, I say, okay, cool, because y'all got different belief systems. It could be your higher self. But it's like, ooh, y'all saw the movie Luna, right? The kids movie where the lady, the little girl goes to help the lady connect with her lover who's on the other side, and like every blue moon or some special time they get to reunite, and he's like this, ghosty kind of thing, and she's a physical being on their planet. Boom. It doesn't have to be a lover, it could be, but I feel like it also is just a non-physical aspect of a part of you. So that's you and God, or you and your higher self, or it's a companion, not intimate. It could be, I don't know what y'all into. Intimate just meaning attached. You have a designated soul companion through all the dimensions and galaxies. Is designated to you. Does that make sense? Okay, because it's real. Like, I didn't make it up. I know for a fact. But it's like when we get so caught up, especially in the tarot community, because when I came into tarot, I was knee deep into a twin flame situation with somebody who turned out to be, it ain't that. And I'm not saying yours isn't that, and he probably is that, but I'm just spicy, But I get it. But it's like, at the same time, when we were all going through like those awakenings, like right before the pandemic or whatever, or during the pandemic, the world was like, ooh, it was crazy. The twin flame situation was going on with the people, but there were also a lot of, I don't want to say extraterrestrial, there were also a lot of otherworldly things happening. I don't know if you were a part of that, because it could happen at different times. It could be happening right now. And I'm just speaking to an activation that I witnessed or whatever. But yeah, long story short, I just wanted to, open up with that, because the soulmate card and the guides card jumped into my hand. And I feel like that's what your fortune is. And I love that. It's almost, I ain't gonna even say that because that's like negative and self-sabotage. But if you think like that, like stuff be too good to be true, I want you to know that even if it sounds like it, who cares that it sounds like that? If it weren't true, it wouldn't have came out like this, because it could have been other messages and other cards, because I've talked about a whole bunch of stuff throughout you guys' reading, and you guys are the last one. So Spirit's like, focus. Okay. Okay, on what? Let me see. Focus your thoughts. Having boundaries and staying grounded. You are protected. You're going through some sort of transmutation to heighten your powers. Something could be significant about a new moon. We had a new moon recently, so you should be going into September different. If you take advantage of that energy, and I think that that's super dope. We're going to get some additional cards to see what we have for a group. And that's crazy. This reading was about what's blocking me. What is probably wrong. And I haven't said nothing was wrong yet. I think you're the first group that I haven't said, well, this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. That's crazy. Who would have thought? From a root chakra. All right, so we got justice. I want to take out a few. I ain't gonna start blabbing out ideas. All right, we got the Knight of Wands. I'm gonna take two more and we're gonna talk about it. Ooh, look at that. Good fortune is good fortune. We got the 10 of Pentacles. I see the Page of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. All right, you're gonna be happy about something you received. What happened there? Did it fall? Hold on. Okay. And then we got, because I was like, that the 2 of Wands in reverse. I was hesitant on picking it up because I'm like, maybe it fell because it wanted to. But it is what it is. So if you are blocked, now we're getting into the good stuff. A limited perspective. Being stuck in a narrow view, not seeing the bigger picture or possible opportunity. So that whole, oh, it's too good to be true. Like I'm trying to sell it to you. I want to make sure the cynical people here get how realistic this is and how in your reality this is. So that could be okay for some a block. Playing is small, you know, that could happen. I've seen that. I know what it look like, and it's from the limited perspective. Like, you can have it even more. I don't care if people telling you that you're dreaming, you are dramatic, you're exaggerating. Spirit says you could even have more than the small thing that you're rooting for at the time. So yeah, playing it small. Now, if there's tension, it's between your desires and your fears, and that's the root chakra. So if you do traditional spreads, or you watch tarot, and they do the Celtic spread, that will be like the ninth card, like somewhere over here, the hopes and fears or whatever. I don't know if you're dealing with an air sign. You don't have to be, but Aquarius, Libra, is that Sagittarius energy, Taurus, Virgo. Okay. So yeah. Indecisive, fearing the unknown. And it's like, fearing the unknown could cause blocks for you because a lot of your life is unknown. There's a lot of adventure, good or bad. It's always something you're not, the cards aren't striking, okay, as a situation that's consistent. You were born in one house, you lived there your whole life. You either had your kids in that house or didn't move far from that town. I think that I could be speaking to people that had the opposite. So it's like, I wouldn't fear the unknown when you feel like most of life is unknown to you. So then you fear everything, and you probably worry a lot. That's probably not a good idea. Justice is your capacity, like your intelligence improves. But if you're blocked in that area, it's like lacking discernment, lacking the Holy Spirit in your body. So guess what else enters it? The energy that feeds off the emotion and your thoughts. I'm not saying that Spirit said the devil, the runner. We're not finna do that. But yeah, so the gift of discernment is when you've went through all of those multiple experiences, and you have gathered some wisdom from it, and you now have the capacity to use that wisdom to move forward. What you did in the past, it's like a clean slate. Like, you had to go through all of that to see the data. Like, if you were a researcher or a scientist or something, you went through all of those experiments, all of those lifetimes, all of those relationships, different aspects of you. So forgive yourself, forgive them. That's important. I won't say that it's hard. It could be. It seemed like it at first, but once the love enters your heart, once you open your heart, once you activate the light body and get this divine intervention, it's easier because you got some high vibes and a greater understanding to where those people and situations ain't important because it wasn't personal. Either they're just idiots or it was a part of your growing. So you can forgive them because they were just actors in a movie that you starring in, type deal. And forgive yourself for coming to the realization of your own poop. Because I don't cuss, but I was about to. When you realize like who you are and what you've done and what you could have done differently, because now you just get it. Forgive yourself, because just like I'm telling you to forgive them, you were experimenting, and they shouldn't have dropped you off on this planet where you were to experiment. You can't be mad at the hypothesis and the process, right? That's how I see it. Like, if we here to learn and grow and experience, then just appreciate my learning, my growth, and my experience. Don't hold it so near and dear to your heart. I feel that with the Knight of Wands here, this is like, I don't know, it's like integrity versus riding a thunderbolt. It's like wild. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a mixed energy of Something that oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like, you know how in the wild unknown the crow represents accepting all and rejecting none. These two cards kind of give me it, because accepting all means, I don't know, it's coming through. It seemed kind of fun. It seemed kind of careless. It seemed kind of nonchalant. I mean, it could be bold, but it could also be reckless. Whatever the case, it's just like, I like it because you don't get consumed by the tower moments. You don't get beat up by the unfavorable aspects or results. You just, I don't know. It just don't kick your ass. I want to say it. If I get that out, I won't keep talking in circles. Life does not kick your ass. I don't care how hard it tries. It is not going to. But then there's also this sophisticated like aspect that observes and retains some of the information, and like it's a part of your character and you use it, and now you all like, you know what I'm saying? You got the extra part about you. So I think that's cute. Anyways, I'm gonna take one over here by the Two of Wands and the 10 of Disc, because your hopes and fears. And see, we have the moon and the unknown. That's what I'm saying. That could watch that. Okay. So here goes a block. You see how this energy that I explained about those scenarios? Now somebody else that doesn't have that adventurous, careless, fearless aspect of them has like this Three of Swords and the moon energy, because the unknown is scary. The past has not been the best. So it's like, I don't even know what's coming in the future, but I bet something I don't like type deal. That's bad for your health. And it causes baggage. So the 10 of Pentacles could very well be your boon, your good fortune, your luck. But 10 of Pentacles is also heavy like a bag of rocks. So we don't want to carry a bag of rocks. Okay, it's heavy. Okay. I said one card. That was two. Look at these. See that there's that crow again. Accept all, reject none. Being built for the experience. It's where you go to grow and know type deal. And then what you receive from it is used for intelligence. So your experiences you use for intelligence. So I think you guys may have a gift. Maybe you'll share it, like public speaking, writers, I don't know, pastors, preachers, evangelists. You could be a content creator or just a school teacher or an after school tutor, whatever the case may be. You're able to intellectualize this. And as a result, I think you find your true love, your best fortune, and your luck changes because you don't fear the unknown anymore, because your whole everything is unknown, and you start imagine like a tower moment coming at you, and it's this thunderbolt, and here come the thunderbolt, and you just grab it. You ride it, you meet it halfway, like, come on, motherfucker. So yeah, you have soulmate twice. And if some of you have questions about like who, that's wild. I feel like there's a bride. I feel like if not an air sign, it's just somebody who is cold and aloof. And you may have questions about a soulmate situation, child. Twin flame. Oh Lord. A cycle with them not seeing could be ending, or you are letting go of that belief because they just refuse to see. And even if you guys have spiritual connections throughout eons and lifetimes in this dimension, in this reality, right? Because they say it's like many dimensions and so many realities. In this one, what if they don't see? What you gonna do? You're gonna chase after them, wanting their apology. And then just imagine you guys have this toxic way of doing that where someone at some point chases the need for things to be rectified or some sort of apology, and then they in return for karma or whatever chase you in the lifetime of trying to be forgiven. You know what I mean? It's like ain't nobody got time for that. So these two just decide not to even bother with that. The high priestess is an energy that don't bother with it, and the queen of swords don't bother with it. I ain't gonna hold you. If there's a library of information, it's within you. So that's a person that has a different calling that's above relationships and silly shit, real life shit. Oh, people, my heart hurt. I'm poor. Life is hard. And no, I'm not being an ass because I've experienced all of that. And I'm still going to say it like that. So please don't get offended. If you're new to my channel, I want you to subscribe. Okay. Hit the notification bell if you haven't. But just take the words. Okay. So yeah, this energy, I think that's how it develops this energy in the first place that makes it so fortunate and lucky because it don't want anything and it ain't scared of nothing. And I can see how that energy, you know how they say once you stop resisting, then boom, everything falls into place. So that's what I get from that. Face the music that this is a place, either it's this dimension or the relationship that keep wanting me to talk about it that I'm trying to get off of, or your calling. Face the music that it is what it is. It is just that. It is all those things. What if it was all those things? Then what? And then the Queen of Swords comes up to say, accept it. Now, if she doesn't accept it, you know what the counter is? Being bitter about it. So it's like a choice. Those of you that are concerned about blocks and areas of improvement, where do we have bitterness, resentment? What aspects have we cut off for love or growth or prosperity or fortune? Do we believe in luck anymore? And then for others of us, using your intelligence when it comes to situations that seem to be fleety. They fleety, that's fleety. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of cool. I did wonder why it was so much air. So some of you guys is transital. Others of you it's a karmic situation that ends. That it's a lot of for them to process and they don't want to. They consumed. So I wouldn't tolerate that. For others of you, there's a lot of information. There's something about you, a lot of information, travel, possibly the internet, I don't know, but freedom or release and being somebody totally different, gaining momentum. And that's where the fortune and the money and stuff come from. Like you travel, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to know a lot. It's a process and the process leads you to some sort of completion. Where you like the lady, you know, the fat lady that sings, that wins in the end. You got the world card right here. And the Two of Pentacles talks about a change of some sort. And then it also talks about wrapping up cycles that are with fleety people who are in and out of your life all the time. Now, if it's about money for some of you, how do you view money and family? How do you view fortune and luck? What are you pissed off about? Because sometimes when we don't get what we want, we just start being pissed off about every other thing that's supposed to be good. Because it's like, yeah, okay. And I ain't here to even tap into that too much because I feel you. I think I have felt like that. And when I felt like that, I feel like I deserve to feel like that. And I don't know if I was some grand guru at the time that just turned it around myself, or if life started to turn around itself, or if my guides helped do something. But it did eventually change. But I did feel like that. And when I did, I did. So if you feel like that, I am not here to I'm on your side, baby, because I get it. But then I say that because I'm considerate and I have empathy. And then I could meet you and then want to thump you. Because I'd be like, man, if you don't get off that shit, right? I don't know which you are. So I'll say that I understand. But at the same time, I know um, it's a flip side to that coin, and I just be like, get on somewhere, man. So yeah, I think that that's super dope. It's crazy. You guys are the only group, like I said, where I didn't bust in talking about what could be wrong. I think that that's so cool. And look out for the signs. I like how the lucky you. I like how the horseshoe and this good fortune. I wonder what that's a symbol of, because I don't think it's just random. I don't think it's just the moon with some water drops. Hold on, because I want to know. But this, I noticed that it's two of you. Maybe it's two of you. Child, I be telling people that, but then that take away the magic of going to YouTube and typing in who is my soulmate and all that. Okay, so this is a symbol for blessings and good fortune. I was gonna say, I know it ain't just random. No matter what your inquiry is, the universe gives you its blessing. See what I'm saying? I love that. So you came here with something in mind specifically, and it probably wasn't what's blocking me. And it felt like that. So that's kind of dope. It's also a powerful time for manifesting. So ask now for what it is that you want. It is granted. Acknowledge the blessing in your life and more will appear. I'm going to do that as soon as I end this video. I ain't pick no group, but I see maybe this Crystal was like, yo, you know, she gave me favor. So I don't know. But after this reading, y'all should do it too. I'm going to consider this little bit of information. If y'all got a portal open, leave the back door open for your girl. Cause I'm, that's why wouldn't you take up that opportunity? So that's dope. You also have horseshoes have been long viewed as a talisman of good luck and protection. The Midas touch is connected to the magician as well as the King of Pentacles, which is good all the way around. Practical, a provider, a supportive person, a decent business individual, a master of some sort. So getting through all of these things that we've just discussed today, and or your guide itself. The King of Pentacles was like the card that I used for guides because they've mastered the things that we're having trouble with. And it's like you have nothing to fear because you have a whole family of them. You know what I mean? So that's like a soul tribe. That's like having some sort of descendants, and not just being a fan. Nothing's wrong with that too, but I be telling people, like, some of us read books and you hear it, so it's like, oh, you have your favorites, but then there are people on this planet that have legitimate, like, internal connections to these heroes and folklores or whatnot. So I think that that's pretty cool. Enjoy this winning streak. So a winning streak is coming in the near future for you. And meditate did come up. I hope it's still at the bottom of the deck. Let's see. My hand right here. Okay, now I moved it because of the world card. God dang it. Anyways, I did see the Four of Swords. But meditate on this when you need an extra boost of being in the right place at the right time. So that may be significant for some of you guys. Being at the right place at the right time. So be ready. You know what I mean? If there is a soulmate energy, maybe they have that kind of cynical, dry, nonchalant kind of thing, but they real cool. They fair and they kind of adventurous. You might not see that side at first, but I feel like there's something different, for you. So I think that that's cool. Meditate is also how you go into the theta state. Okay. To do past life regression work as well as light body activations. If you're interested in guided meditations, okay, this ain't no sales spiel. They free. You can go to my website, mokoyen.com. And I also have a YouTube channel at Dr. MB Online, where once I get comfortable with the flow of your pick a cards, you'll see more of the distant healing content. So that helps. I'll make sure I have one on the playlist for light body activations, as well as just, guided meditations to get you there, because it's something you and your guides can do. I can just provide, facilitate the getting you to sit down and hit the button, on the music or whatever. So I do hope that it helps Group 7. And thank you guys for watching.